Yeah. Mic check 1, 2. Are you ready for this? Cause it's the first 52. Listen up if you wanna survive the ride. Tune in, the truth might change your life. The simple power of truth. One word, rock the nation. Raz Radio Live. It's the first 52. Saturday night conspiracy facts. It's the first 52 with your host Sean Red. The simple power of truth. Join the conversation. RazRadioLive.com. It's the first 52. VIC's in charge. Time to listen up. Real talk mixed with music meant to wake you up. The simple power of truth. Join the conversation. RazRadioLive.com. It's the first 52. That's your opinion. Bring your facts to Dave. He packs the pain. Four-Toe Jones, his name. It's the simple power of truth. Join the conversation. RazRadioLive.com. It's the first 52. Uncensored, uncut, and live. Truth talk with guests that might help you survive. It's the simple power of truth. Join the conversation. See through the lies of the manipulation. It's the first 52. Listen up if you want to survive the ride. Tune in, the truth might save your life. The simple power of truth. One word, rock the nation. RazRadioLive.com. It's the first 52.
My mouse. There it is. All right, stand tight. I know I love hearing the sound of that music. That means it is Saturday night. This is the first 52 live on RazRadioLive.com. It's 12/20/2014, 5 days from Christmas. Hope y'all are ready for that boondaggle, that boonani, that mess of things that we're going to have to deal with. It's a good time. It's a great time of the year. It's time when you really, get with your family and you enjoy your friends, and that's the most important part of it. Although the presents are a good thing too, I guess. I'm not a religious person, and honestly, if you really look at the history of Christmas, there's really no religion to it. And Salty covered that earlier this week, so I hope you heard that. If you didn't, you can check it out. He always posts his what do they call them, story times. And he did a really good one on the history of Christmas. So as we move into this evening, I do want to mention and recognize, we see all this stuff going on in the world right now. We see protests going on like crazy. We've got madness going on in overseas, and I want to recognize that it's a sad place we live in when we watch people get killed. And my new hashtag, you're going to see it a lot, is All Lives Matter. And unfortunately tonight, 2 law enforcement officers were shot and killed. That's not what we want to see happen. That's not what we're looking to have. It's not the right thing. That's not how we're going to solve these problems. What is going on with this thing here? It's just not how we're going to solve these problems. We can't have vigilante justice. We need the proper accountability. And the problem is that we're not seeing that accountability. That's why these things are happening still. Because we're not seeing the proper accountability where it's needed. When somebody breaks the law, it doesn't matter who they are, they need to be held accountable. Whether it be a cop, whether it be a civilian. And my heart goes out to the family of those officers killed today. Another crazy man. He knew what he had planned. He knew what he wanted to do, and he did it. And that's a sad day. That's a really sad thing. There's children probably that don't have a father now. There's wives that don't have husbands, whatever it be. So remember, that's not the way to solve this problem that we have. And I don't call for anybody to do that. Now, if you're defending yourself in a proper, acceptable way, well, there is a time that you might have to do that. If they're breaking in your house unjustly, then yeah, we know there's laws in states that allow you to shoot a police officer if they enter your house improperly without a warrant, doing these no-knock raids. I know there's a lot of people out there right now who are cheering it. And that's bothersome. That bothers me that the mentality of the people in this country are, cheering the death of people. We shouldn't be cheering the death of anyone, ever. Anyone. You all might want to say, well, how about Osama bin Laden? Well, no, we don't want people to die. We don't want people to do bad things. And of course, we all know Osama bin Laden died in 2001 anyway, not by this guy running around trying to say he did it. That's a whole other story in itself. So, and we're moving into a new year. We're going to have some changes here at the station, and we'll see where things go. I think we're going to have some good podcasts that'll be played in my time slot. And I hope you guys enjoy them when that comes down. Don't know who or what exactly yet, but it's going to be good. But anyway, let's get ahead with tonight. We've got the four-toed one back with us again. He's not running around playing around with people.
You mean partying?
Yeah, partying, having a good old time.
I could have been, but I just chose to do the show.
Well, that's very nice of you. I appreciate that, Dave. It's very nice of you. I can't get my freaking Sam to stop playing music. Go figure, right?
Reboot. Yeah, you think we've been doing this for 2 years? You think we'd get it done already?
Yeah, well, I didn't have any problems last week, and I'm wondering if my son hit a button on the keyboard over there.
I'm
threw Lexi's headphones down on the keyboard earlier.
Really?
Yeah, and it tends to change things sometimes. So I'm wondering what got changed in my settings. Yeah, that's what. No, did that do it? I got it. There we go. All right, cool. Yeah, he had the button pressed on something over there that was causing it to loop music. Anyway, so how was your week, Dave?
Fabulous. I actually worked full time this week.
Full time?
Yeah. And it was actually only 32 hours.
Well, that's all it takes to be full time anymore. Is 32, I believe. Isn't it?
I think it's like 36. But I was supposed to work full time. There was actually a day that I had to go home early because, oddly enough, I was in a little bit of pain. But it was
you in pain.
What?
You in pain now?
Yeah. Well, it was a significant amount. I don't want to talk about that. But anyway, having a good time at work, being out there, just being social and not being home and not drinking and not getting bored and, not reading these fucking things. I'm a much happier person the last couple months. I hate to say it's because it's work, but because it's going to end soon. But
it's keeping you away from everything going on. You're not paying attention to the craziness of the world.
Right. I'm staying off of Facebook more. And even when I do post shit on Facebook, it's more, like today is, I went bicycle riding.
Yeah, pictures from your bike ride. I saw you post pictures of your bike yesterday when you were fixing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
well, I'm also having a good, because I got two things. I bought a new cell phone, and I got the bike. So I'm like playing with both of them.
Are these your Christmas gifts for yourself? Is that what those were?
Sure.
Sure. I bought myself some Christmas gifts. So, I think we're probably on opposite spectrums here on this next one, Dave. And I don't want to get. I guess I kind of do want to get into it really heavily because I think it's. Even though some people are calling it a distraction, I think there's something to be seen in the whole the interview hack, this whole Sony hack. North Korea did it. They did it. Yes, they did it. No, North Korea did not do it, and I don't believe that.
They can't keep the electricity on overnight.
Yeah,
they're not hacking into anything.
They can't get a rocket off the ground. I don't see it being them. I have put out the inside job type sentiment, and I don't necessarily, as when we say inside job, it's just saying it wasn't what was really done. It wasn't what's being said to us. There's been some reports. I don't know if you've seen the reports that there was some meetings prior to this event with the CIA and the executives of Sony. Apparently, there was one seen at a basketball game with one of the Sony guys. I got that article. It's off the radar online, and it says crisis talk: CIA agent's secret meeting with Sony executive revealed in leaked doc emails. So this actually was in some of the emails that they pulled this information from. Mm-hmm. So it kind of makes me start questioning now. We work with the Hegelian dialectic. We all know what that is, or I'd like to believe we all know what that is: problem, reaction, solution. We create a problem to get a reaction so we can provide the solution. Not we meaning me, we meaning the government or the power elite. So what could be wanted from this? Why would they do that? Why would Sony either allow a hack, produce a hack, or have the CIA hack them? Well, what could we get? What could the government want from that? Well, let's see here. Gives us a reason to go after North Korea. Oh, and of course, Iran and China and Russia were apparently assisting in this hack.
Well, I'll tell you what the end game is. I'll let you go, and then
But we're getting to the end game.
All right.
So now we've got the ability to go after these 3 or 4 bad guys that we've been trying to go after for years anyway. So that's part of the end game for the government. What else could be part of the end game for the government? Well, what have they been trying to do for years now? What do they want us doing anymore? Well, net neutrality, control of the internet. So they've given an excuse now to really push it because the First Amendment has been attacked by a foreign country. And now we need to secure our internet to ensure that this doesn't happen again. Well, then you might say, well, why would Sony be willing to give up the, $30 million to make the movie and $100 million in advertising? Well, I don't know if anybody saw the article earlier this week that came out that said maybe the Super Bowl could possibly be suspended or canceled because they're supposed to be I forget the name of the bill exactly. There's some bill that provides terrorism insurance. The government subsidizes it and backs it up. Well, they might not continue that. So the Super Bowl might not be able to go on because there's no terrorism insurance. But guess what? Sony has insurance for the loss that they're going to have.
Not only that, they get to write it off as well. They like it when certain things are in the loss column because it balances out the profits, and they get to write all this shit off, but yet still make an exorbitant amount of money.
Right, and there's some rumors floating around that a lot of the people inside of Sony said the movie sucked. It was horrible. It wasn't going to be any good. It was going to be a flop. So let's take it. Let's take one for the team. We can push internet censorship. We can get net neutrality going. And hey, the government's happy then because we can start attacking or
yeah. But see, that's never going to fly. And here's the reason why: is because there are many people, such as myself, who are technically adept at these things, and I know that it was Sony's fault for leaving a vulnerability out. The bigger the company is, the more prone to a hack it is because it is such a logistical nightmare to try to figure out a way to secure the network because nobody wants security. They want convenience. So when the IT guys say, hey, I want to do this, or I think we should do this because there's this threat, and they're like, no. Well, can I not access it with my iPhone or my iPad or whatever? And they're like, no, you can't because you have to do a second step. And they're like, nope, don't want it. And these are the things that they do to, oh God, if I could tell you what this company that I'm working for now, holy shit. It's a compounding pharmacy. Right. They make the drugs on site.
Right. Yeah, for special drugs needed or special dosage levels and stuff like that.
Right. It's direct. It's in the hospital complex, so it's direct to bed medication. Right. They don't even have to. They don't have to leave. They it's right in the next building. They're wireless. They have everything on one network. Their wireless is so easy. I told them, I was like, I could hack this in 4 minutes from the parking lot, and I can get all the information because nothing is secure. It's not HIPAA compliant. It's not PCI compliant. It's not none of this shit. And this is the way companies are. It's not the first time. WellCare was a similar way.
Well, it's cost effective for them and ease, and they don't expect what's somebody going to hack into there for is what that's going through their mind. I mean, seriously. Did you really think Sony would be a reason to hack for a movie? What are you going to get from there other than some gossip? It's not. You're not going to get world, government figures from there. You're not going to get anything that's going to, cause massive security leaks for the government through Sony or through the hospital. Well, maybe the hospital. You can get some people's medical records and different things like that.
Right.
So
you can get credit card information. All these medical records, things that we hold dear, are out in the open in this fucking place. Fortunately, nobody knows how vulnerable they are, so hopefully nobody's scanning it. But another thing with Sony is their movies get out all the time because of screener, DVDs, and shit like that. So I can go, well, the Pirate Bay was just taken down a couple weeks ago, but I have another source to download movies.
Right.
And like this, I downloaded some shit. I typically, here's the thing, is I'm somewhat ethical when it comes to downloading movies, is I'll wait till the DVD comes out and then I'll download it. right?
That's your ethical end of it. You'll still steal it, but you'll
No,
wait
I'm not
till it's
stealing.
out for
I'm not
everybody.
stealing anything. I'm downloading. Right? I'm downloading.
okay.
That's something that's free and open, and I'm not taking something away from somebody else. I am just copying it. But I do it for two reasons. One, because then I know it's a DVD copy, and somebody wound up buying it, and it's also really good. I've seen movies that have the little numbers on the bottom because it's a screener copy. I'm like,
Right.
hey, I don't like that shit. I'll just wait till the real movie comes out, and then I'll download it.
Well, you know what somebody told me last night? I didn't try it, but she showed it to me on her phone. If you go to YouTube and just type in 2014 movies, you can get almost all the movies full length on YouTube. Which I had no clue. She showed me that she had Maleficent or Maleficent or whatever the hell it's called on
there. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I downloaded that one also.
That's actually a good movie. We took Mikey to see that in the theater. That was a good movie.
Somebody told me that it was actually that girl that I kind of still like.
The girl I kind of still like.
Yeah. Well,
right,
that's going up and down. So
So CIA meeting with Sony a month prior to this thing happening. The immediate focus on a country that I really just don't believe has a. They show these videos of 40, 50 people sitting in a room at computers saying that this is the hacking bank for North Korea. You'd think if North Korea was doing that, they'd be a lot further along than they are.
First of all, there are so many ways to obfuscate where your hacks are coming from. There's no if North Korea hacked it and they had the brains to hack something, they'd also have the brains to obfuscate it and go proxy server or hack into somebody else's thing or get it, pay some Russian guy that's got drones, because a lot of all this malware is all robots that you could hire. You could hire this massive amount of computers that have all these viruses on there that it can direct it at one spot. There is such an easy way to make sure that you could hide your tracks. And I read the article today, and the cops say it's conclusive proof that it was them because of the techniques used were similar to something that they used a while ago. Like, really? That's your proof? That shit wouldn't even hold in a court of law. Are you fucking kidding me? And the FBI says that?
Well, the FBI says a lot of things that doesn't make any sense. It happens constantly.
Yeah. There's a reason, and they're pushing their fear-mongering, and they want everybody afraid again,
Just a reminder, we got Susanna Posel up at 10 o'clock tonight. I know you enjoy having her on, Dave. I don't know what we're going to talk about with her. I told her, let's see where we're at come Saturday.
Right.
We'll decide what we're going to talk about then. I think that's pretty much the best way to do it anymore. So much changes.
Right.
Unfortunately, I do have a lot of law enforcement in front of me, but I'm trying to, in light of what happened today, I don't want to get too bad with it. Just out of respect. I know that sounds crazy because we're always pushing on it. But I think with what happened,
yeah, we could take a break.
Yeah, and I've been on that so much recently. It's so hard not to anymore. It's just right there in your face.
Yeah.
This whole Cuban deal. Last week, I know you didn't hear the show, but I read this whole long article last week about how the U.S. co-opted Cuba's hip-hop scene to spark change and revolution. Basically went in and they were using CIA and different fronts to start like a youth revolution through music. Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
Something they're fighting here in our country, they're trying to do in another country.
Right.
And then all of a sudden this week, we see this, this deal made with Cuba that we'll be able to, bring back $100 worth of cigars and $500 worth of goods and travel there again, finally, legally. Which I'd like to go to Cuba one day. It's a beautiful country from what I've seen of it.
Yeah.
And
it's only 90 miles away.
Yeah. Well, from the Keys.
So in other words, it's like an hour and a half flight,
Yeah. Or a 4 or 5 hour boat ride from here.
Right.
Honestly, you want to be honest with it. So there's a lot of questions on that as to why it's done, why this is going down. I know as soon as it went down, they started to do extra, because now we can extradite from there. They'll agree to extradite people, and there's a cop killer. Apparently, I guess it's Tupac's mom or something.
Mm-hmm.
She killed a cop in Jersey back in the 70s.
Really?
And ran to Cuba, or was it 70s? I think it was the 70s, and has been hiding out in Cuba ever since. And now, as soon as this went through, they started extradition processes on her. And that, I've learned, is why a lot of the Cuban Americans in Miami and that region are so upset, because it also means that Cuba can extradite back to them from us. So wonder if that was part of the reasoning to it. I don't know. I haven't really followed it too much.
I think it's a fuck you to Russia. Another fuck you to Russia.
Why do you say that?
Because it's like Russian property. In the last Cold War, or in the 60s, and the reason why the whole Operation Northwoods thing was created was because Russia was able to park nukes in Cuba,
Right?
And not only that, Cuba's communist. So it's Cuba, Russia, and China. They're all buddies. And the fact that we're kind of like butting up to, their neighbor or, one of their boys is just gonna start rustling feathers again. Same thing with, what's gas now? A barrel, like $55 a drum.
Yeah, somewhere around there, and they're expecting it to go as low as 40.
Yeah, and 40 to 50% of Russia's GDP is from oil. So we are directly hurting oil. Now, if you remember in the past, when the price of fuel started to go down, what did OPEC do?
Oh, they'd stop production.
Right, they'd cut production.
Which they haven't done. They're actually amping it up right now.
Exactly. And so, because...
I believe we talked about this a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago with Info. I think even before we had Info on, we talked about it, that this whole thing with the oil starting to drop back then, and that was when we were still at 3 something a gallon,
right,
was to affect Russia, China,
right,
and Syria.
And now there's these new relations with Russia's boy might start shit some more. You never know.
Why can't we just I wish as a nation we could just worry about ourselves and let everybody else do their own shit and just worry about ourselves.
How about we just go back to what John Lennon said? I forget the exact verbiage, but it basically was no country, no religion. Everybody just gets along because we're all together. There's no barriers anymore. Like I make the example that, here in the 50 states, Florida's not fighting Georgia. We're not fighting anybody. We make fun of each other. But
now we got Colorado getting fought by who was
Idaho,
Nebraska,
or someone.
Yeah, I forget the 2 states that are fighting, suing Colorado because they got legal weed.
Right, but that's not going to work. They're using the supremacy clause, which is not for what they're saying it's for. And actually, the supremacy clause is brought up a lot. That's not true.
Right. Well, I agree with that. Plus, each state has the right to do its own thing. You don't want it in your state? Get better patrols on your borders and stop it from coming in.
Exactly. 10th Amendment.
Yeah. It goes right to the same issue at the border. You don't want people coming in? Stop, making rules and doing stupid shit. Go secure the border if that's written. Now, of course, how we feel about that, how I feel about that.
Right.
But if that's what you want, that's what you got to do. You protect yourself.
Right. Don't
worry about what your neighbor's doing. Worry about what you have to do to protect yourself and your citizens.
Exactly.
We're getting to the point that what was it that the feds easing up on the restrictions?
Well, no, it's Congress isn't going to fund the DEA for doing their raids on things
for a year or so, right?
Yeah, that's blowing smoke up your ass. That's all it's doing.
I think we're getting close to. I think that's the first test run to see how it goes down and if they'll be able to. It's going to have to be legal soon. They're going to have to give it to us soon enough. They don't
have to give me shit.
Well, they don't have to give me shit either, but they're going to have to allow us to have it without us worried about going to jail every 2 seconds.
You know what I did the other day?
What did you do the other day, Dave?
The night that I was out last week at Scott's going away party.
Right.
I was at this bar called the Ale and Witch, and I was packing the whole time. Now, normally I hang out outside, right, where I would be legal. But it was too cold. So I was like, fuck it. I'm not walking back to the car. 6 hours I was in the bar with a fucking gun.
Well, as long as you don't pull it out, you don't have to worry.
Well, isn't that the way it always is? As long as you don't pull it out, you don't have to worry. But yet I'm not allowed. I'm not supposed to be in that bar. I'm not supposed to be in an airport, which I brought guns to the airport. I probably have gone on school grounds with a gun.
There was a big discussion about that today, or the other day I heard, about going to school with a gun. Meaning, if I got to drive my kid to school, I'm not going to carry my gun to drive him to school.
I heard the very same. Who was that?
I think it was on Cowhead. I think.
Yeah, it was Cowhead or Calta at this point.
Cowhead,
I heard the exact same clip, and I'm yelling at the fucking radio. because the lawyer that he has on is always like, I'm going to err on the side of caution. And a guy called up and cited, if you're in your conveyance, which means his car, then that's your domicile. So you could be on public, you could be on school property, but it could be in your car and you're legit. And the lawyer was still like, I wouldn't recommend you do that. I'm like, right, because you're a fucking pussy lawyer.
Well, that's what he's got to say, because, you know, if he says, oh, go ahead and do it, and then you get in trouble for it, you know, you're going to come back and go, hey, what the hell? You got me in trouble, dude. I'm going to sue your ass now.
Aside from that, lawyers are officers of the court. When you go into a courtroom, like if I were to take this fucking stupid speeding ticket to court, guess who I face? I face a judge who's paid for by tax dollars. I face a DA who's paid for by tax dollars. I face a cop who is paid for by my tax dollars. And let's say I hired a lawyer, right? While he's paid by me, he's allowed to work because of the courts. They could disbar them, they could censure him, they could do all kinds of shit if he starts saying the things that they don't like. Whereas, you know, this is the reason why I can't believe I'm going. It didn't take me very long.
You might as well get it on now, because we got Susanna in the next hour.
I wasn't even planning on doing this rant, but this is the reason why I don't like doing shows anymore, because it doesn't take me long to fucking get right up there.
Right up.
Right.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
Well, it's just the whole system is designed to fuck you. You know, why is it that I got to pay this lawyer, walk into the court, and the court controls the lawyer, but I got to pay him? Or let's just say I got, you know, one of those court-appointed lawyers. They're only there to get the process moving along. They're not interested in my innocence. Nobody is. They want to. The lawyers, they want to churn shit up.
Well, that goes down to the whole, you know, if you're innocent, just cooperate with the cop and let him arrest you and go deal with it in the courts. Well, guess what? Not everybody wants to shell out a shit ton of money every time a cop mistakenly arrests you or accuses you of something you haven't done. And that's why people are getting to the point where they're standing up against it now. You know,
yeah, but we see what happens, you know.
Yeah, Gardner's a perfect example. He had it. He was done. He didn't want to play their game anymore. And now there's a story that has come out recently.
No, that actually came out the day after that they were harassing him.
That harassing him for I don't have it. No. There's a whole nother story here. Shit, where did I have that at? Hold on, I got it right here. I didn't open it up for some reason. Don't ask me why. But going back, I'll go to that in a second here. But going back to what you're saying about being part of the system, you know, there was a judge recently that got special treatment for a DUI and actually got out of her DUI. It was in San Antonio, Texas. Last month, a judge who pleaded for special treatment during her DUI arrest had her case dismissed and has been able to keep her job. Go imagine. I'm curious, what happened to that Pinellas cop or the St. Pete cop that got DUI last weekend?
Yeah, from Tampa. One? Yeah, I'm sure that'll be washed away, or maybe not, because it was a St. Pete cop in Tampa, so it's a you know, two different counties.
Right.
I'm sure that there'll be some backroom deal somewhere along the line. And you know what? Let's be honest. I'm kind of happy with that. Let's let them get away with it, and then we could bring that up. Hey, listen, you guys let this guy away. Can't you? You know, I'll do the same thing. I'm a good guy. Let me go, because I'm not for one of those things that wears like when cops get busted with drugs. I'm like, let them go, because I don't want to be busted for drugs, so I don't want them to be busted for drugs.
Well, but if we're going to be, shouldn't they be also? I mean, that's part of the problem.
No.
They're not held to the same standards we are.
Well, yeah, they got
if they're going to run around and enforce laws on us, then they should face the same consequences when they break a law that we would face.
True, but if you get through this thought process of like, yeah, it should be legal. You shouldn't have to deal with this. You're on your own time. Do whatever you got to do. You know, let him do what he wants to do. You know, because I'm sure, you know, probably being a cop is probably not fun. You know, we all.
No, I wouldn't think so. I wanted to be one at one time. I would not. I'll tell you what. I would not become a cop this day and age.
Well, I was just talking to Silent Bob over here beforehand. I was like, if I was physically fit, I probably would go to be a cop, because instead of walking the walk or talking shit, I'd rather do it. You know, let me go out and try to be the best peace officer I could be, but I'd be fired in a month because I'd have no tickets. I wouldn't give anybody a fucking ticket. You know, I'd pull people over like, hey, man, your brake light's out. That's all. I'm just writing this down. Go get this thing.
Slow it down a bit here, would you? Come on.
Yeah, it's the kids are out, blah, blah, blah. You know, just, you know, take it easy. But I would be the coolest cop. And if I came up on a scene, you know, where there was an issue, I would do my best to try to smooth things out. I don't want to take people to jail, but that's their job now, is to take people to jail, to try to figure out ways of taking people to jail.
So the story
they're incentivized to do that, because that's how they rise up through the ranks, is how many arrests they have, and
how many tickets they write, how many prosecutions they get through, and yada yada yada. Right. I know. Well, the Eric Gardner thing I wanted to talk about here. The headline, or the byline, I would really say he was killed because Eric was a black man. I wouldn't really say he was killed because Eric was a black man. It's due to the fact that they stole money from him and refused to give him his money, and he filed charges against him. So apparently Gardner had filed charges against that specific cop that chokeholded him, or whatever we want to call it, submission hold, as some people are trying to say it is. Because they were harassing him and just taking his money and sending him on his way. So
Lovely.
If this turns out to be true, that's gonna be a pretty big thing. I really think that's gonna make a big difference here.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it'll go anywhere. Let
me see here. I'm gonna put this over here because I can't play it there, and I'm gonna play this little bit of audio for you, Dave. This is the interview with Benjamin Carr, who is Gardner's father, who is the one who is alleging this, apparently. I guess you got to turn that up too, don't you, Sean?
When the police knew that he couldn't breathe, he was steady choking him. And all the time he knew he wanted to do what he wanted to do with Eric. Because due to the fact when they told him that all Eric did was stop the fight. And he personally said it's not about the fight. It's a personal matter. And even today, I'd like to know what that personal matter is. And now I see. He knew what he was going to do when he came to him, when he started choking him. And then they're going to find him not guilty? I don't understand it.
Do you think it had anything to do that Eric is a black man, why he was stopped and why he was treated like that?
Well, I can't really say, but I wouldn't really say it was because that was a black man. And due to the fact they stole money from him and refused to give him his money. And he filed charges against him. This is why they had a bandana against him.
A what?
A bandana?
From him. Yeah. And refused to give him his money. And he filed charges against him.
So that if this can be proven at all, which people are looking into it, that's going to be a big part of increasing the violence that we're going to see.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to see what after I found out about that. I texted my son. I was like, "Don't go into the city anymore." And I texted Ben too because he was in the airport here in Tampa. I was like, "Yeah, don't talk about that shit. Don't
get in the middle of it." Although Cynthia, who might join us in the third hour, she was at a protest yesterday and was really distraught by some of the things that were said and some of the things she saw from the pro-cop side.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say she's not going to be calling it in light of what happened this afternoon. It's just, I don't think she's going to call it.
Yeah, it must be. I'm glad where I live because I don't have to deal with that shit directly. You know, I sit here and I get behind my microphone and I post my articles that I read, and I don't experience it here, fortunately. And I'll keep it that way. Thanks very much.
The Tampa police are actually pretty cool as well. Despite the fact that I just recently got a speeding ticket, but they're all right. They're all right. They don't really bust my balls. The one or two interactions that I've had with cops, I actually talked to them about guns. Whereas if I told this one cop because he had a Glock, I said, you should try the Springfield Armory 9. I was like, that's what I got upstairs. And I went and got it for him.
When was this?
This is when my car got stolen. It was about 6-7 years ago.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, we're all, I don't know how many times I have to say this, and I've been saying it for years. That's the other thing. All these people think I'm just jumping on these police brutality stories because, hey, it's the thing to do now because, hey, it's what everybody's talking about. You and I have been talking about this shit for 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been warning that it was going to end up where we're almost at right now.
Right.
We've been saying it's going to lead to a small revolution. It's going to lead to violence. It's going to lead to protesting. It's going to lead to rioting. And where are we?
Yeah, bad things are going to happen. This is what happened today is not good. And you mentioned revolution. I would like to say, hey, man, let's just have an evolution. Let's just evolve beyond this. Let's realize the people. Again, I had a conversation with Silent Bob over here because he's got relatives in the force locally, and they're all cool people. Cops are kind of cool. Or cops are people. It's when they put the fucking badge on that they become dicks, because it's the environment that makes you that way for the most part. You're rewarded for capturing people. Yeah, you're rewarded for making money for them, and you're rewarded for capturing, getting a high collar rate. But meanwhile, you're going after the low hanging fruit. You're getting fucking pot smokers and people that are fucking around their cars, and you're not going after. There's not a lot of people that are. Yeah, the cops aren't finding the people that broke into your house, and stole your shit. They just basically, they give you a piece of paper that you wrote, oh, I had this TV stolen, this gold bracelet, blah, blah, blah. Here, you can submit this to your insurance company. That's all they do. They don't go fucking finding your shit. They don't go combing the fucking pawn shops around here looking for shit.
No, they don't. Absolutely. Right. They happen to find it sometimes on other things.
Right.
Or the pawn shop calls them and says, hey, this is kind of suspicious. Come check it out. And then you might get lucky.
Right.
As we know, that's the funniest thing is law enforcement is maybe 5% of the time actually stop a crime, if that.
Right.
Their job is to investigate crimes that have already been committed.
Right.
So they got to keep that in mind. What's your angle on the T-shirt? Have you followed the Breathe Easy T-shirt?
It doesn't surprise me, because in a 2008 RNC, I think it was somewhere in the middle of the country. I guess it was 2008. They had put out shirts. Now this is either RNC or DNC, which they're at that point they already had free speech zones, right? So they had but they had T-shirts made that said "Waking up early to beat the crowds."
Right. For the cops.
Right, for the cops, because they love beating the shit out of people. This, I can breathe, or I could breathe easy, whatever it happens to be. It's wiping your dick on the fucking drapes, man. The cops are they are elite. Because they're protected by they're the king's men. They're protected. They have, a shield around them. And, aside from that, it's qualified immunity. They don't get in trouble for anything that they do on the job.
Very rarely do they. I mean, we see
they get fired. They don't get in trouble.
And then they go get a job somewhere else.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
Well, that cop in Texas that beat the 70-year-old guy, tased him and threw him on the ground. Did you see that video?
I saw you post it. I just didn't have the heart to watch it because shit like that pisses me off.
Well, apparently he got suspended and is going to be fired, from what I've gathered from some of the information I've seen. And one of our regular Facebook followers came and said, "Well, you know what? He got fired from there, and he'll probably be down here in my town working in a couple months."
Yeah.
Or
the union will get him his job back, and he'll get fucking back pay.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing with the guy that shot Brown, Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
He was fired from another department for brutality prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw that or not, but yeah, he had a record of issues and was let go from another department and went and worked at another department and ended up killing somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, my issue with the shirt is, and it's not that they don't have the right to wear it. I think it's in bad taste.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's unprofessional.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that in light of what's going on, they should not be trying to incite people. And that's going to incite people. It's going to cause people to get angry. It's going to cause people to want to get worse than what we're at now. And I think that that's my issue with it. I don't care that they wear the shirt. I mean, honestly, I can see where it's kind of amusing to the other side of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's unprofessional and just not right for them to do that.
The whole thing is not right.
No, that's true too.
Yeah.
That is true too. I'll give you that. The whole thing is not right.
I mean, just let's bring it down to here in Florida. There's a lot of communities that have homeowner associations, right? And suppose like in this development that I live in right now, all the neighbors got together and we hired a security guard to drive around to protect our, just patrol our area here. Could you imagine him saying to us, "Hey, slow down there. Otherwise you owe me money." Or, "Hey, don't walk with that beer in your hand on the dock. You owe me money now." You'd be like, "Fuck you, get out of here."
Right, I'm paying your salary.
Right, exactly. I'm paying your salary. I'm going to hire somebody else who's protecting or is trying to prevent crimes here, not invent them. And that's what law enforcement has become. They don't prevent anything. Everybody's under this false assumption that a law makes it so that it never happens. If that was the case, then we would have no more murder, we'd have no more rape, we'd have no pedophilia, and that shit has not stopped.
If a law made it happen, if a law stopped violence and stopped criminals, those 2 cops wouldn't be dead in New York right now because you can't have a handgun in New York City.
Exactly. He came from Baltimore, right?
Yeah. Well, he had just killed his girlfriend earlier in the day, from what I understand.
Really?
From what I've been reading. Yeah, it says that he was a felon on the run and had murdered his girlfriend earlier in the day, early Saturday morning.
So that dude was on a mission.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck it. I'm going down for this crime. I might as well peg these 2 others, Yeah,
and I've seen black men killed. So you know what? Before I kill myself, I'm going to take these 2 out with me. There's crazy people out there. There really are. Neither
one of them are black. I read the names of the officers. One seems to be Oriental or Asian, let's just say, and the other one was Hispanic.
I don't give a fuck what color you are.
Well, it's
all lives matter.
Right.
All
exactly. But the thing is, he noticed the thing is he didn't pick out 2 black cops.
Why would he pick out 2 black cops? Black cops didn't kill the black guys. And he was a black guy.
In Staten Island, there were no black cops there? Out of those 8 people?
Well, the sergeant, there was a female sergeant that was a black lady. I know that. And the ones that did the assault.
It doesn't really matter to me. I don't give a fuck.
It doesn't,
black, white.
Right.
It's the cops against us. And, and people, it's funny is you'll see people post on Facebook, that this white guy that was killed by a black cop, where's the media now? And it's because the white people are we're afraid. We don't say shit. So what the thing is that they're pissed off that the black people say shit when they get oppressed, where we just take it up the ass, or not.
Right.
But
the cops told us to do it. It's okay.
Right.
They're supposed to be there to do that.
Oh God.
I get so frustrated with some of the people out there on Facebook and Twitter land.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the stories that is getting big press out in Ohio, but really isn't hitting it nationwide. And this is really out of the 3 cases at hand right now. Let's look at these 3 cases at hand: Brown, Gardner, and Crawford. Crawford is really the most disgusting, absolute innocent person, no matter what, being killed. John Crawford was the boy in Walmart that was carrying the airsoft or the BB gun around.
Right.
That he was purchasing there or just playing with it, whatever.
Right.
That one there, if you watch the security footage from the Walmart, there was no addressing him. The cops snuck around the corner and shot him.
Right.
They
assassinated
is a major
him.
one. Yeah,
right.
That's a major one there.
They stalked that motherfucker. Just like this dude today in New York or Brooklyn.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So there's been a lot of sit-ins there or they're calling them die-ins in Ohio. And today, I guess it got kind of ugly, and a cop backed into a 60 or 70-year-old woman, and they ended up handcuffing her and throwing her on the front of the car. And it was just ugliness. I watched that video. They haven't gotten all the videos out. They only released a small clip so far. But that's the kind of shit that's causing these problems. Let us protest. Let us do our thing.
Yeah, it's called blowback. We know what blowback does.
Yeah, we've seen it from Al Qaeda and ISIS and all these other these units that we've developed and made.
Anybody that oppresses somebody else is going to suffer blowback, one way or the other. It's going to happen, and we're watching it happen, and it's not going to stop. How does that compound in Honduras sound now?
Oh, it sounds great, dude. I wish I had the money. I'd be there. Seriously, I'm ready. I'm so ready.
Yeah. I managed to fulfill a bunch of goals last year. I'm debt free, right? I just got debt free last week.
Right. I remember you telling me.
What else did I do? Anyway, I got a bunch of, I got another line of income, right? I wanted to make money instead of just get the Social Security check. Which I just got a raise, by the way.
On Social Security?
Yeah, like $15 a month. What does it turn out to, like 10 cents an hour? Anyway.
Yeah, right. It's $15 a month.
So I was able to do that, and now I feel really good about myself. I'm like, I'm all right. Now it's time to. And I'm going to lead this into something else. What was the core reason why I was saying this?
I don't know. We haven't worked together in so long. I think we're both a little off tonight.
Yeah. And plus, and I don't like getting mad at the cops because it's so easy. Because that's kind of my thing. It's always been, for me, it's been pushing cops, or it's been telling you about that these fuckers are abusing us for years. And now it's finally coming to a head. And unfortunately, this thing happens today, and it's going to solidify the oppression. And that's what I was going to say. My goal this year is to finally get the fuck out of this country. I might do it just for a month, just to see what it's like down there. I might fucking hate it, but I will hopefully by September, October, I'll be somewhere in Latin America reconning.
Really?
I might call you.
I think this year is going to be the year.
Well, everything's already paid for. Like, it took me a year and a half to fucking pay back a lot of shit, and get my stuff together and finally get my head above water. I mean, I just spent almost $2,000 in the last 6 weeks, on a bicycle, phone, and a new gun, and hanging out and shit. That's the reason why I have no money again today. But so I've got everything out of my system. The only thing I may want to buy now is a motorcycle, but I'm not going to buy one.
No, you don't need a motorcycle, Dave.
No.
Please, no motorcycle for Dave.
Why?
If you're going out of the country, you don't need to buy a motorcycle. Buy it when you get out of the country.
Right. Exactly. That's another thing. It's like, why buy one and when I might be gone soon?
I'm gonna really fire some up here that should really get you going for the last 4 minutes here, because we got to take a break because we got Susanna coming up.
I did want to say something, but all right,
go ahead, say it.
Well,
go ahead, say it.
No. I just wanted to say that I want to be good this year. Like, I'm focusing on my happiness, and I want to do good for others. And something has come my way. You know how you always say, don't vote for the president, vote locally, because you can control your own environment. And also when you say, if you want to donate to somebody, donate to a local cause, find someone so that you can affect their lives. And something has come across my way where I could help. And, that's why I'm kind of talking about, and I want the Raz family and all the other people, but Rob Revere, which we know of because, you
friend of ours on our station. We've known him for a long time.
Right. He was on DC, I met him from there, and, Rob Stock.
Rob was one of the main people that helped start the station, believe it or not.
Exactly. Yeah. He's the reason why you're streaming on the company that you're streaming with. I think we all got Sam Broadcaster from him, or at least he started that. So I've started, his family needs a vehicle, that all of the kids could fit in. So they were looking to get an old church van, and things for them right now are not going well. So I started a GoFundMe campaign, and I'm going to announce it here. I'll probably try to call in, and I'm going to put it on certain Facebook pages. But this is going to be me doing something for other people. And I started a church, and now I'm going to do something with it. And so if you go to fortojones.com, it'll actually redirect you right to the GoFundMe page. And actually, I was going to do it live on air, but I was going to make the first donation. I'll do that during the break. But if you can, $5. This is the difference between GoFundMe and Kickstarter. Is you're not getting anything for it. There's not going to be any T-shirts.
Right, it's just because you want to help somebody.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. There's no campaign. There's no time frame. And they get to keep all the money without whatever the
5% or something. I think from them.
It turns out to be like 7.5% because there's two people involved. But yeah, donate what you can. Hopefully, maybe soon we can get them something. No, it's a pretty lofty goal. But it could take a while. And it might be the one thing that gets me to call into shows now.
Yeah, we got to get the transportation for the tribe for Rob. I can definitely get behind that one. And I would love to see everybody help him out. He's been a good guy. He's helped out a lot of people in his life. Mm-hmm. And, he needs help now. So if you can help him, throw him $5, $3, $10. Whatever you can do.
$100.
But you're not getting anything for it. So
right. Yeah.
Other than the good feeling that you've helped somebody out.
Exactly. All right. Thanks, man.
No problem. I won't do the other one. I'll wait that for later. Coming up in the next hour, we'll have Susanna Posel on with us. She's always fun to work with. She's very bubbly. I don't know what we're going to talk about with her, but I'm sure it's going to be very enlightening. Her site occupycorporatism.com. She's putting up great articles every day. She's sending to me directly. She's posting. She's on the Raz Radio page now as a manager, and she's just going to be posting stuff there freely. So make sure you check out her stuff, and we'll see what she's got to say after the break. All right. Wow, that was a rough first hour. I did a lot better by myself last week for some reason. I'm just not into it tonight, though, honestly. Yeah. It feels like
me neither.
We don't even need to do the third hour.
That's a fun hour. Lex will be in here by then, I think.
Yeah.
She's dealing with the kid right now.
Yeah, I see her glass of wine there.
That was from last night.
Oh.
We did D&D till like 2:00 in the morning.
Really?
Last night. Yeah.
Yeah, I was asleep by 9.
Now they were saying it was the last one for the year.
Yeah, and I've kind of laid off drinking, mostly because I did like a week and a half's worth of drinking and eating. My friend was down here, and then it started off with the last night of DC and ended off with that going away party, and I guess it was 5 days. I ate and drank like I was a pirate those 5 days.
Like a pirate, you said?
Yeah, it didn't matter what time of day. I ate crazy. I drank crazy.
Yeah, I got to get my drinking down too. Lex and I were talking about that the other day. I've been when everything went down, I started drinking a lot, and everything happened with Lex and I.
Right.
I noticed I started drinking really, really heavy. I'm down to 2 pairs of pants that fit me, and they don't even fit me comfortably.
You're getting heavy, huh?
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. All right, let me go pee. I see she's got a dancing figure on the screen over here. She's so funny. And I'll be right back.
All right.
The government spies, free world controlled by devils in disguise. The television flickers and rates to hypnotize, as retained by the picture MSG supersize. Another mother cries for her son's lost life. Political greed breeds another genocide. No choice is left, stand up and fight. Divided we fall, but united we survive. Now it's time to put the money and the bitches to the side. You never truly come up when you live a servant's life.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing.
I'll take it to the grave. I'd rather die free than live like a slave. I'd rather speak my mind, I won't bite my tongue. If you think I've said it all, I haven't even begun. They bring you to your knees with disease and vaccines. Another line of credit, the American dream. Ron Paul revolution, 20 million screen, but it doesn't really matter to the voting machine. Now they censor this on YouTube, labeled it extreme. Bernanke and his lackeys, printed phony green. Hit us with inflation, annihilate the nation. No investigation of the Bush administration. Obama runs on change, Brzezinski's in his ear. The only thing that changes is the puppet in the year. They open up the borders, triggers on our shoulders. Focus on the pain, this is the new world order.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus the only thing. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing.
Susanna.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Just want to make sure. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. We're still on our break. I just wanted to get connected with you real fast.
Awesome. Okay.
Oh, I see you just said, are we live? Yeah, I don't usually go straight into live with somebody. I usually do it during the break. It's just easier that way.
I appreciate that because most people don't. And then it's like, oh.
Oh, here we are. We're ready to go. I didn't know what we were talking about, so don't worry about telling me now. I like it as a surprise. You always have good stuff. So,
all right.
And then Dave stepped out. My other co-host, he'll be back here in a minute. He's up in Tampa right now. He's at home, so he'll be with us also. Lexi, unfortunately, won't be able to make it. She's with the kid tonight.
Oh, well, that's good though.
Yeah,
how's everything going?
It's going good. It's going real good. Going to be changing my show time to weekdays sometime. I'm not really sure what yet, but come the new year, I won't be doing Saturday nights anymore. We need that for family time. 3 hours every Saturday is taken away from the family time.
Yep. I got that talk from my husband yesterday.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah. We've been doing it for 2.5 years and every single Saturday for 2.5 years. Yeah, I mean, we took a few off here and there, but it's you can't plan anything, It's just kind of gets in the way of making any kind of plan.
Yeah, he was upset because I spend all day with the kids, and then I do radio shows in the evening and write articles in the evening, and so there's no time. Mm-hmm. We don't have any time. We actually paid a babysitter to go out to lunch together.
There you go. You got to make it happen somehow, right?
Exactly. So I'm gonna have to cut back, but then I'm thinking about getting my own show back. So I don't know how that's going to work. I'm looking for a network.
I got spot here if you want any. I'm more than willing to take you on board if you want to do one. So you don't need to look. You're welcome here.
Okay.
Just know that's always there. I mean, there's bigger ones than me. I'm just a little guy, but it's a place to start, and they can always simulcast or something. It's all done on your own, though. That's the only thing with me is a lot of these bigger networks, it's all sitting, you call in a Skype line and they run everything. We don't do that here. So that would be the only difference.
Am I going to have to run it?
Yeah, you'd have to run it. That's what I mean. That's the only thing is with us is you have to run everything yourself.
I don't know. I'm going to think about that. I'm really kind of like a monkey when it comes to this stuff.
It's not too hard, believe it or not.
We've been doing this for 2 years. We still don't have it straight. And that's the beauty of it, There's technical difficulties all the time.
It just makes it fun.
Yeah, but I am one big technical difficulty.
Too funny.
I'm like, don't ask me to change the oil. I don't know where it goes. I still don't know where it goes.
You still don't know. There's a little cap on the top of the motor. It just goes right in there.
No, I would Chris Farley it. That scene in Tommy Boy, that would be me. I would leave it in the yeah.
The hood pops up while you're driving on the road.
Yep.
Oh, goodness. You remember Dave, right, Susanna?
I do. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Just the other day, I was reading an article about how they were trying to get some information from police, and they claimed, well, we're a private corporation. We don't have to do that. And I'm like, she was right. They're trying to do that.
I fucking told you.
I know.
Whoa, I think that's the first time I ever heard you curse.
Nobody believes me.
You got to isolate that. Right.
Yeah, no, really. That's the first time I ever heard you curse, girl.
I know, right?
It's getting to you now.
It's 2 years I've been, and with the Ferguson and all of the, there is another way that we can handle this. There is another, we can attack the fact that they're corporations and most of them are out of business. Why are they operating? It could be that the New York Police Department or the Ferguson Police Department was dissolved.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't checked into that, but if that's true, oh my holy moly.
It's ridiculous how bad that's what we were talking about the first hour is how bad it's getting and how, we've been talking about this stuff for 2-3 years and everything we said was going to happen is what we're seeing to start happen now. The riots, the rebellion from people, this whole protesting and everything. It's what we've been calling for, not just me and you or Dave, but all of us crazy conspiracy people. It's what we've been calling for years. It's going to happen.
Yeah, but on the flip side, you've got other people baiting it to happen, telling people go out there and grab your guns and go storm the gates of Pennsylvania Avenue. So there's a flip side of that too.
That is true. That is true. I don't know. It's so hard anymore to figure out where to stand on everything. I just stand where I believe. That's all.
I make my life my protest. I don't bank. I don't shop at big box stores. I don't eat crappy food. I turn around and read the label. If it has parabens, I don't buy it.
Yeah, well, that's the best way to do it.
Really, that's like the only effective way to do it is you take care of your own life. You do a very Ayn Randian thing is you just worry about yourself. And that doesn't mean fuck everybody else. It's more, if you're a part of my friend.
Well, if you're doing what Ayn Rand said, then yeah.
It doesn't mean fuck everybody else, Dave.
No.
Have you ever read The Virtue of Selfishness? That's a book that's never mentioned. They always talk about Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah, no, I saw a document. I'm not really interested in her. I just saw a documentary about it. I was like, oh, that's kind of me because I'm really just taking care of myself and whoever I like, and I'm not shitting on anybody else for the most part.
That's the most important thing is don't shit on anybody else.
Right.
Yeah. There's no reason why fast food has to be dangerous. I've gone to fast food stores that use only local organic products, and the burgers taste great. The fries taste great. It costs $2 more. Who cares?
Well, Lexi and I were talking about this. I can't remember the last time I ate fast food because I won't. I just don't eat fast food. I'll go to my local pizza shop to get lunch and have a burger there, or it's $10 instead of $6. But that's also not having a beer with it. So I'll get the best of everything.
Exactly.
But I couldn't tell you the last time I ate fast food.
I could tell you.
Well, no, I've eaten it since then.
Oh, okay.
I've eaten it since last Christmas.
All right.
But it's got to be at least 8 months since I had it last. Because the last trip we took, we got on this kick of just stopping at like Applebee's, or not Applebee's, at like Chili's or restaurants along the bigger chain restaurants. But some of them are not too bad. I mean, I worked at Chili's. I know what goes on in the kitchens there. It is pretty fresh, believe it or not, for the most part. There's some stuff you don't want, but they do.
The other
good.
thing is, like, when I go to, we live in a small town and we go to a lot of local restaurants, and we had to go into another city to do some shopping for the kids, and we went to a chain restaurant, and the way in which they treated us was so different than the way we get treated when we go to a regular just a restaurant, that I won't even set foot. I don't want to be marketed to by these corporate trained drones who come up to my table and act like, hey, how you doing tonight? I'm your new best friend. What you doing later?
Well, I used to be a manager for those kinds of restaurants. I worked for Hooters and Lone Star and some of the bigger chain restaurants. And it is completely in the training of how that is. I
have a question.
What?
Are we on air?
No, not yet. We got 2 minutes left on the last song, and then I'll cut you guys and bring us back in.
I was thinking the same thing.
We were bashing all these things.
Right. It's great radio. Nobody's listening.
Is that the way it is?
You should be a producer.
Actually, well, here's the thing. On my side, see, Sean and I are in different cities, and I am actually broadcasting video on my side, and I don't do any music. So that actual conversation, I think there's 2 viewers. I'm looking at it right now. Two people heard it.
That heard that conversation.
Hi, Brad.
Right. Hi, Brad.
Hi, Brad
Those
and
2
Troy.
people actually heard me curse, and that never happens.
I've never heard you curse.
Right.
I don't normally curse.
It was an emphatic one too,
That was. She really meant that one.
Yeah.
I fucking told you. And you know what? I don't even have that recorded because I'm not. This isn't going into my record because my record goes.
Bad.
Yeah, so it's only recorded by Dave.
Oh, that would have been a great job.
So now we could start a conspiracy theory about me.
Yeah. You're an FBI agent that says fuck all the time.
Yes, exactly. Because they did that with my Facebook page, my profile being suspended, and now there's a rumor going around that the new profile that I put up is actually the NSA.
Jeez. All right, everybody stand tight for a second.
That's alright. They don't understand where I come from. I've been down, but I came up from the bottom. Ain't a product of the lotto. Don't need no brass, but ain't the liquor out the bottle. Wrong motherfucking side. Yeah, that's my motto. Working class, the only people I follow. They understand where I'm from. I've been down, but I came up from the bottom.
Hey, this is Jack Blood, your radio gun from HeadlineLive.info and the Jack Blood Show. You're listening to the First 52 with Sean, Raz Radio Live. Stay bold.
All right, guys, here we are back at First 52 on RazRadioLive.com. Hope you got a good break on. I told you things are going to get crazy in the second hour. And I'll tell you what, the conversations we just had during the break, I know they're going to get crazy this hour. So I'm going to bring Dave back in first. Dave, I got you there, brother?
Yes, you do.
All right, good. We got Dave there and Silent Bob in the background just floating around doing his thing. Oh, he said something. And, you know, we bring this woman on a lot. I really enjoy conversations with her. She's a lot of fun. She's very informative. OccupyCorporatism.com. Susanna Pozell, how you doing, sweetie?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I'm doing good myself. We got a little warm up during the break there. I think we got our happiness back amongst us all. In the first hour, we covered a lot on police brutality and you know, said some words for the loss of the lives today by some crazy man. And we don't know what you're going to talk about. So what do you want to talk about tonight?
Well, I'll keep along that theme because I had something incredible happen this week. Taser, who is the corporation who just made $2.8 million with an M, $1 million off of the LAPD ordering 7,000 of their body cameras for their officers. I actually had a Twitter conversation with Taser.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it went a little something like this. Now, see, I have the Twitter conversation linked up in the article. If you go to OccupyCorporatism.com, it's the second page in the breaking news section, and you can click on the Twitter link, and you can read our conversation. I took this as an opportunity to ask them what they thought they were contributing, giving cameras to officers when Eric Gardner was filmed being murdered, and it was ruled a homicide. And obviously cameras don't work because the fact that it was being filmed did not deter any of those 4 police officers from killing that man. And their response was, we are the company, the #1 company. We have the people, the technology, and the gumption to go out there and tackle this problem, and we can make a difference. And then they went on to say, we're trying to change the world by providing tools of transparency and accountability. This is America, in all caps, and we are the solution. And I just continually ask them the same question. Could you explain how transparency and your product would have saved Eric Gardner's life? And their last comment to me was the officer wearing one of our cameras? Because when officers wear our cameras, better behavior on both sides of the badge are seen because they're wearing our product. And I said, are you saying that Eric Gardner would be alive if the NYPD were wearing your product? And they cut off the conversation.
At that point in time. Well, you know, I'm not against the body cameras. I think that is another means to monitor what's going on. And the only problem I see is that they can be turned on and off because we've seen that situation recently. I think it was in LA, actually. Some bicyclists, one of them yelled at a cop, slow down. The cop, you know, came out, was giving him a bunch of crap, and you could see him turn the camera on and off because there was a little light where the button was where he was pushing. So you could tell where it was being turned on and off at. But on the other side of that, you know, can it provide a forced respect, forced doing your job right? You know.
Well, the only problem that I have with this is Obama just set up a task force with an executive order. And I've been saying this for a very long time. This task force, literally, I'm going to quote the page on the whitehouse.gov website concerning this executive order. The task force on 21st century policing. It was designed to, quote, examine how to strengthen public trust and foster strong relationships between local law enforcement and the communities they protect. This is a PR stunt. Look, the police have been militarized since George Sr. was in president. This is several presidencies later.
Right.
And now Obama is dealing with the fact that these police officers have been militarized, trained militarily, and are enacting that onto the public, and people are dying in the suspect phase. They don't even get to the arrest and detainment phase or even the court phase. They're dying in the suspect phase when we're not even sure if we have the right guy.
I got to say, the only thing I got to argue with there is I don't really think Obama's dealing with anything. So, I mean, just let's be honest.
Well, he's dealing with it by creating a PR stunt. And the Lowell Police Department created a PR stunt, which was a video that went viral on YouTube with this police officer handing out gifts that the guys who were listening in on his radio bought down the street, gift wrapped it, and this guy pulling people over, asking what they want for Christmas, and magically it appears.
Right.
And this is a PR stunt that was explained by the chief of the Lowell Police Department in the video that I linked up in my article, where they got together with a local station so that they could get this nationally covered. And we've seen other PR stunts where they're trying to build up the public. Well, hey, police officers aren't all bad. Some of them give out presents. Some of them bring you a week's worth of groceries. You know, they don't always kill black people.
Hey, here's $100. That's the one I just saw the other day. They're pulling people over and giving them a $100 bill that some guy donated to the police department to do this with.
Yeah, the gift that I got 2 weeks ago is the opposite. I have to pay them $258.
Dave got pulled over and got a speeding ticket. He's all mad about that.
Well, some you win, some you lose. I guess it's like the lottery.
Yeah, he beat a couple red light tickets, so he can't argue. They're getting them back now.
Yeah.
Yeah, New Jersey just canceled that program.
What, the red light cameras?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's breaking news here that I was actually reading. Not breaking news, but study red light cameras don't improve safety.
No, they don't. Actually, they cause more problems because people then slam on brakes and stuff because they see a yellow. Anyway, all right, so we got off track there. You know we do that, Susanna, so you'll have to excuse us. So the propaganda, and that's the big thing, because anytime people, because everybody knows I push against the law enforcement issues and everything, and people will be sending me these videos. Well, look at this cop. He's a good cop. He's pulling people. They're good cops. They're giving gifts. They're doing this. And I'll say, you know, here's a good cop. And I'll send them the story I covered last week of the Utah cop that pulled over the 87-year-old lady. She was driving to her dying son, and she accidentally put the car in reverse when she was leaving and backed into his car. They towed her car. He put her in his car and drove her, met another officer, put him in her in his car, drove her, and they got her all the way to her dying son. That is good police propaganda, if you want to. No, that's not even propaganda, because it's the truth. That's good police work.
That's being a human, you know.
Right.
And I'm sorry, cops shouldn't be lauded for being fucking human.
Well,
because I would do that.
I've met some tremendous cops who go above and beyond in situations. I have had friends who have been. I had a friend who was kicked out on the street with her 3-year-old son in the middle of the night. Like, all of her stuff was on the front lawn, and her roommate decided that she didn't live there anymore. And the cop sat there with her until they found a shelter that would take her. And it took 4 hours for him to find a shelter, but he sat there and he drove them directly to the shelter so they wouldn't be without a place to sleep that night.
Right.
There are wonderful police officers.
I agree.
But there are police officers who take their personal opinions and keep them while they get into their uniform and enact them because now they have a vested interest in the authority that is given to them with that badge. And that is an abuse that needs to stop.
Yes, I would. That I agree with too. I just had a conversation last Sunday with a retired Atlantic City cop. Now, I grew up in Jersey, so you know him and I had an automatic connection. But him and I got in this whole debate about the Gardner case and all these different things, and we disagreed the whole time. We had a really nice conversation, and at the end, you know, we both said I actually took away something from him, and I think he took something away from me. So that's what it comes down to: is talking and communicating with each other and realizing that we're all in this together. We're all, in the long run, going to have to face the same enemies, which is the global elite. They're not going to keep these guys around once they're done using them and abusing them, which they don't even see they're being used and abused by them yet. So we're all on the same team. And I don't know if I started this hashtag. I started using it today, and I noticed it was trending at one point, and I know it wasn't from me. But I'm going to use All Lives Matter from now on. Every time I do this, anytime I put out a cop article or something like that, I'm going to hashtag it All Lives Matter. Not Black Lives Matter, not Cops Lives Matter. All lives matter. And I think that's where we need to get down to is that we're all human beings. We're all in this together.
Yes, race is a factor in this. But when I saw the protesters in New York and all over the country, they were every color that we come in. So we all agree that this is a problem. And yes, it was enacted because of African-American men were murdered by white police officers. But that's not the end and be all of this issue. Because then only black people would be in those protesters in those demonstrations, and that's not the case. We all agree, no matter what color or ethnicity or anything, we all agree that our police departments do not have the right to kill us in the suspect phase. There has to be law and order, and they have to follow them. There was a gentleman who was pulled over in 2009 in North Carolina, where it's not illegal to drive with one headlight. And because the officer didn't know the law, he pulled him over and cited him and searched his vehicle. Now, he found a sandwich bag full of cocaine, but it was an illegal search and seizure. And it was a violation of this man's rights because he hadn't even committed a crime. There was no probable cause for the officer to pull that man over to begin with. So we have a serious problem in our country where maybe the officers, or a portion of the officers obviously, don't understand the laws, don't enact them, and don't respect that their personal opinion of any ethnicity has no bearing on their employee capacity when they're wearing that uniform.
And there's a lot of officers that just don't care. They know they're going to do what they want to do. Because they have that shiny tin on their chest, and they think that they can do. And the sad thing about that story is, because I did see that article, the Supreme Court ruled that it was justified, that it was okay. They just kind of, threw everything out and said, no, he found something illegal. Screw it. It's good.
Well, see, that's fruit from the poison tree. You shouldn't be able to use that because you found it illegally. Although now things are getting to the point where the judges are saying, I'll allow it. Because he had this powder that we deem illegal, the way we got it was also illegal, but we'll allow it.
But it's not as dangerous as weed, because weed's a Schedule 1, that's a Schedule 2.
I know. How screwed up is that?
I mean, come on, really? Yeah. So we see these trends going on. We see it's kind of like nobody cares anymore, and they're just doing what they want. I want to know, how can we kind of stop that? There's something else I wanted to say. I didn't write it down, and I was going to, and I forgot it already. What's your... Oh, I know what it was. We were talking about protesting and coloring. We have a friend of ours, Susanna, that lives in New York. Her name's Cynthia. She's worked with us with another radio show that we used to be involved with. And she went to the protest yesterday in New York for Gardner. And when she was there, they actually left early. Now, she's been in protests with Vets for Peace.
She's been arrested.
She's been arrested with Veterans for Peace last year. Matter of fact, I think a couple days ago is when they got the case dropped. It was like a week ago.
Really?
That it was a year anniversary from when the case got dropped. So she's there, and they actually ended up having to leave. I'm going to read her post from her Facebook page. It says, we hung as long as we could, but we had to leave. Our hearts couldn't take it. We were there to call an end to police brutality and the death of an unarmed, innocent civilian. We were answered with, get a job, crackhead, get an education, go back to your country. Your people committed the crimes, and the most vile line of the night, at least my kids won't be black. I have been thoroughly disgusted in my lifetime, but never as disgusted as I am at this very moment. And that was coming from the pro law enforcement side of this protest. Those comments. It's just despicable.
The problem that we have, as far as that goes, is that we haven't dealt with race in this country. Yes, we have affirmative action, and yes, we have the civil rights movement, but we really haven't dealt as a country with racism. And that's evident in the comments that Cliven Bundy made. And it's evident in some of the murders that have gone on, that have gone public, and certainly the ones that we don't know about. But I'll give you an example, and I'm by no means saying that this is all encompassing, but this is my experience. I grew up in Homestead, which was mixed with everything.
Homestead,
and
Florida?
We didn't care. Yeah, Homestead,
okay.
Florida.
I didn't know you grew up down here.
Yeah, I grew up in Aranda Lakes. Hurricane Andrew kind of moved us out.
I wonder how.
Yeah. And when I moved to Miami, and I went to school in Coral Gables Senior High, and there was a large Cuban population there, and that was something I was not used to. And because I have olive skin and dark hair, lots of people assumed that I was Cuban. and I worked at Office Max down in Coral Gables, and the morning meeting was always conducted in Spanish, even though there were several people who were bilingual, including the members of management. There were a few members of the crew who were not bilingual and only spoke Spanish, but the entire morning meeting was conducted in Spanish. And I had to ask questions after the morning meeting because my Spanish wasn't that good. And I was eventually fired for asking that the morning meeting at least be conducted in English and Spanish.
Really?
Yes, I was fired. And while I had several retail jobs, I lived in Miami, I would constantly get comments from customers, well, how come you didn't greet me in Spanish? How come you're not speaking Spanish? You're Cuban. No, I'm not. Of course you are. Look at you. You look Cuban. You're denying your Cuban heritage. You need to speak Spanish. You live in Miami. You should speak Spanish. Even though my skin is not as dark as an African American, I had lots of discrimination, racially based discrimination, which was completely misfounded because I'm not Hispanic. My family comes from Eastern Europe. That's why I look like this.
I am actually more Hispanic than I don't know a lick of English or Spanish because my great grandfather was president of Mexico, and it came here in 1916. That's a dead serious truth. You can look him up. Victoriano Huerta. That was my great grandfather.
Yeah, you don't want to brag about that. He wasn't a good guy.
I know, Dave. You always say he's not a good guy. He was my great grandfather, though.
Yeah, hey, look, I tell people all the time my father
he was a despot. I know. I know he was a very evil man. He was actually one of the people. His father started the Mexican Revolution, and my great-grandfather, my grandfather's father, still had a bullet that they removed from him when he was 70-something years old. And they said, where'd this bullet come from? And it was from the Spanish Revolution, or the Mexican Revolution, I'm sorry. But anyway, I sidetracked the story there. But see, now, if I was running a business and a Mexican or a Spanish person came to me and said, hey, I need you to do this meeting in Spanish, because I can't understand it, and I didn't comply, I would probably get in trouble as a business owner.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think you.
In Miami, you certainly would.
In certain areas, you may.
I don't think you get.
Yeah, you'd be sued out of business.
Well, is there a law stating that you have to? See, there you go. Then you wouldn't get in trouble.
In my time, growing up, I noticed that the billboards and the transit buses went from English first, Spanish second, patois third, if that at all.
What was this, mid-90s?
Right.
Okay.
And then it moved to Spanish first, English second, and patois third. I don't know what it is now because I haven't been back to Fort Lauderdale, where my family lives, in about 7 years, but I don't think that it's gotten better.
I was just over there last year. I have family over in that area also, and I can't even remember. I was there for a funeral, so I really wasn't paying much attention. So anyway.
Big deal.
Yeah, well.
In the sense that who cares what language we speak, sure. In the sense that I was discriminated against because I look like I could be Cuban and I was denying my Cuban heritage by not speaking Spanish, that's a problem. And it's just a small symptom of a larger race problem that we have in this country. I'm lucky that my skin isn't so dark that I can hide my non-Hispanic Hispanicness, or whatever you want to call it.
Your full Hispanicness.
My full non-Hispanicness.
Right.
But you can't do that if you're African American. And why should you? It's racist to think that you can't be yourself and express your culture and your ideas because of the color of your skin and you don't fit in with the rest of the colors. It's an absolutely archaic, ridiculous idea. It needs to go away. Yep. It's like having alcoholic family and you have like 2 or 3 brothers or sisters. One of you is going to have to not drink to stop the cycle. So which one is it going to be? And we have to think about racism that way. It's a stupid, disgusting, ridiculous idea. And some generation needs to just stop. So which generation is it going to be? Is it going to be the Xers? Is it going to be the millennials? Is it going to be the Homeland generation in school now? Who's it going to be? Because it's got to just stop.
Is that really what they're calling this generation in school now? The Homeland generation?
Yes.
You're kidding me, right?
Oh,
no, I'm not.
Oh, my God.
Who made that up?
I don't know.
Oh my God. I mean, I thought Generation X was bad because that's what I am.
Right.
That's what I think all of us here right now are is Generation
I'm
X.
before-
Dave, you're before
yeah,
Generation X, actually. You're old
I'm,
man.
I would be considered a hippie kid.
Hippie kid. No, you're not that old.
My parents are hippies.
Well, my parents were hippies too.
My mother was not a hippie. My mother was a Gloria Steinem, bra burning. Wow, I can't believe that I even think the way that I do growing up in that. Wow.
Oh my goodness. So what else? What else is heavy on your plate? What's been something you've really? Because I know you sent me a few this past week. Didn't you send me a geoengineering one at one point this past week?
There I go. 10:34.
I didn't say chemtrails. Oh, now I did, I guess. But Suzanne, wasn't there a geoengineering or something along those lines you sent me earlier this week?
Oh, that was sailing the plastic seas. People don't realize how much damage is being done to the earth, and the fact that there's so much plastic in our oceans. Like, we don't even talk about that anymore. Like, we don't even talk about the people who like hairsprayed their hair with Aquanet in the 80s, burning up the ozone layer or whatever, and now all of a sudden everybody's still using hairspray and the ozone layer seems to be fine. In certain places it's even grown back. I mean, why even bother? But then there was another article that I wrote this week that I thought was quite funny, actually. Climatologists were calling for the UN to get out of climate change because they're just fledgling it all up. And all of their missed data is messing up the real need to move away from fossil fuel technologies into cleaner energy sources. I thought that was hilarious, that the climatologists are telling the UN, hey, you're representing us poorly. You have terrible science. Your IPCC is using predictive models, which can be doctored. We all found out how it's doctored with Michael Mann and ClimateGate. So stop and get out of climate change so that we can actually get to the root of the problem and fix it, because you're messing it up for us.
Well, I would have to agree with that completely because, Dave and I always fight about climate change and I believe that there is.
No, we fight about chemtrails.
Well, no, we fight about climate change too because I don't believe it's 100% man-made. I do believe man has an impact, but I also believe there's a natural cycle that we go through. And it's funny because you're talking about the plastic bottles out there floating around and different things like that. And I just saw just recently this guy built a houseboat. And what he did, and I don't remember where it was, but he used the boat is actually floating on bags full of plastic bottles that he had collected himself. And when he collects up another set of bottles and enough bottles, he fills a bag, puts them underneath, and as it allows for him to expand his little island that he's built, he expands his island. It's all floating on plastic bottles. And that's been a big thing. I mean, isn't there apparently like a, I don't know, quarter-mile size thing floating around in the middle of the ocean somewhere?
Well, with Fukushima, there's a lot of stuff floating around in the ocean now. People are finding desks and chairs and all sorts of stuff. The problem that I saw with the plastic is not going to be news to anybody, but we forget about this stuff because we're really busy buying gifts, just like they wanted us to. And
more plastic.
And more plastic. The problem is the toxicity levels. We are eating the fish. The fish are eating each other, and the toxicity is magnifying. And the problems with plastics and PCBs in the constituents, the chemicals of the plastic in the food that we're eating is causing human disruptive effects, like reproductive systems are being affected, immune systems, nervous systems, and the endocrine system. So that's fertility, and that's just from our oceans and eating seafood.
So what these chemicals are leaching out of the bottle into the ocean, or are they eating parts of the plastic? How is it getting into the fish, or what's the theory behind that?
The leaching out into the water is happening, but that's such a minuscule effect that it's not worth mentioning. It's the consumption of the plastic by the animals, and then we eat the animal and we have the chemical in them, in us, and it gets passed along, and then we need big pharma to help us out because we have cancer and we have these neurological disorders and we have degenerative diseases. We're not getting pregnant, and we don't think about see, this is something that really gets me. It gets me really, because
she's gonna curse
America,
again. Don't drop that on him.
I might. In America, we seem to think that one problem, one solution.
Right.
No. Take the NSA and spying on us. We completely just gloss over, just drive right past all of the data mining that the corporations are doing, and we never even bat an eyelash. And we see these articles. I write these articles all the time, and nobody cares. But if I write about the NSA, everybody clicks on it. The corporations are doing more damage to our privacy than any agency, any governmental body, any international body, anyone, period, any hacker, anyone. The corporations are using all of our information, every keystroke, they have software that can even Google has it now. It's an AI program. It can monitor the movements of your mouse that you're using on the other end of the screen. There are ways in which these corporations, and I wrote this article about this algorithm coming out of the University of Queensland in Australia. And somebody in alternative media, I won't mention his name, picked up the information and completely misrepresented it. And I was so angry about that because the truth is actually, if you want to term it this way, more scary than his version of it, which was all about CIA and Facebook and blah, blah, blah. What the corporations like Facebook and Google and retail corporations as well are doing is they're using these algorithms that use artificial intelligence to capture as much information and predictive information as possible on you. Not only to sell the information to other people and to sell you more products, but to sell it to the governments, to the NSA.
Pre-crime.
Okay?
Use it for pre-crime also.
Yeah.
Use it for pre-crime. For 2 years, I saw this big report put out by this big hothead in alternative media talking about pre-crime. I've been writing about pre-crime for the last 2 years. In fact, 2 years ago, the domain awareness program was implemented by Mayor Bloomberg through Microsoft, who wrote the software. And this is predictive crime software. Okay, so it takes all your information, every digital thing you could possibly imagine, including real time, what you're doing now. And all of the medical records, DMV records, marriage licenses, everything they can gather, and CCTV cameras. And there's over 3,000 of them in the city of New York alone. Taking all of this information and deciding whether or not you're a threat and what kind of threat you will be and how soon you could enact that crime. And that's been happening for the last 2 years.
That's ridiculous.
And all of a sudden, pre-crime is a big deal. Pre-crime is a big deal when the media tells you that it is. But this stuff has been happening all the time. And when the media decides, hey, this is a big deal, and I'm going to sell lots of newspapers, and I'm going to get lots of clicks to my website, and I'm going to get lots of viewers to my show, then all of a sudden, they scare the hell out of you with this information that's been going on for so long. Why are we dealing with this with Microsoft? Do you know that Michael Bloomberg got 30% off of every precinct, every country, every corporation that purchased domain awareness by beta testing it on New York citizens and not telling them?
I could believe that. I mean, honestly, I could definitely believe that because Dave lived in New York up until what, 2002?
2002, yeah.
Yeah.
No, sorry, 2004.
2004. So he lived through all that, and you're talking about algorithms and Facebook and how they do it. Here's a great example, and people don't pick up on this stuff, I don't think, regularly. But I grew up in South Jersey. I live in Florida now. I keep getting this ad on my Facebook for this T-shirt that says Jersey boy living in Florida. And they're trying to sell me this shirt. And it comes up every day. I see this ad for this Jersey boy in Florida shirt. And I told Lexi the other day, she's like, well, they know it. It's on your Facebook that you grew up in Jersey, and it's on your Facebook that you live in Florida now. And I'm like, well, but it just shows you how much they're looking at you. Mm-hmm. And then you see this app that came out, I guess this past week or this past month, that law enforcement's going to start using or is talking about using, that will, when they stop you, they put your name in and the app goes through and evaluates all of your social media and determines if you're a threat or not. I don't know.
They already have that in place.
Are they already using it?
They already use that equipment. Yes, they do. Yeah. And they are able to access FBI databases. They have the shared servers with the ABC agencies and the local police departments, and through there they can siphon out other records. And they can do that within, like, split second, as fast as the connection can go to those servers. So again, it's only a big deal when these talking heads start yapping about something, because maybe it's December and they're not getting enough clicks to their website because people are out shopping and spending time with their family, and they put out this sensational story which is not even news.
Yeah. Well, I call it fear porn a lot of times. I know who you're talking about, by the way. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I'm sure everybody listening knows who you're talking about. But yeah, I actually I haven't listened to that individual because of that main reason for over almost a year now. It's just it wasn't enjoyable anymore, and I wasn't learning anything new. And it was like everything that was coming up was the same crap that we see all the time. Now, I've been inundated with law enforcement stuff recently, so that's why it's nice to get into some other topics. But it always kind of comes back around to that, though, doesn't it? No matter how much you try to spin away from that, it all kind of connects back to that in the long run.
Well, it's difficult for me because I'm interested in information that is necessary and useful to my audience and to the public at large. Anybody can go to my website. I'm not covering certain things because you're getting enough crap over there and you're listening to enough broadcasts over there. You go ahead and eat your fill of that. Trust me, it's all directed, it's all propaganda, and it's all for either the red team or the blue team. Trust me, if you sit down and analyze it for a minute with a clear head and use some logic, you'll see it. And if you watch a couple of marketing videos on YouTube, you'll start to see the salesmen coming from them as well. It's difficult for me to see all of this happening over and over again and get to the meat of information that people aren't paying attention to because they're being inundated, like you said, with police state. Yes, police state is an issue, but there's so many other issues that are happening right now in conjunction with that, but we're not paying attention because something's happening with the riots or something, and everybody's got to be right there on the scene and capturing all of this. And it doesn't matter if it's vetted information or not. They're going to bring it to you live because, you've got that microwave mentality. If you can't have it in 30 seconds or less, you don't want it. It's just absolute. It's an industry. It's an infotainment industry that is designed to keep you entertained. And so far, we're just happily entertained. So, journalism continues to go down the toilet.
And just for the record, my microwave is our bread drawer. We don't use our microwave. We keep our bread in there, and that's all it's for.
That's awesome. I don't even have a microwave.
We have an I live in an apartment. We have an over the stove microwave, and all it is bread and rolls and stuff like that. It's all that's in there. When I got to melt butter, I actually bring a pan out and put it in the pan and put it on the burner. I cook my popcorn in a pan.
Hey. I'm a mean microwave button pusher.
Have you looked in the mirror recently, Dave?
Ding.
I don't have room to talk. I know I've gotten fat recently. That's what we do to each other all the time. All right, so let's. What else we got, Susanna? What else is really pushing your buttons?
Well, the banks have gotten the green light to go ahead and crash the system if they want to for within the next 2 years. And I always think that that's an awesome thing to do. But we got to thank the Federal Reserve for that.
I was looking through your website and I saw that. And so I was like, all right, so what did they, how can you explain? Because banking, financing, and cops are like two of my push button items.
Yeah, Dave's a big Bitcoin guy and alternative currency guy. So yeah, he's good to talk with financing.
Okay, well, I don't think that Bitcoin is a good idea, but we could say that for another show.
I just choked on my beer. I don't know if you saw that or not. I've been telling that forever.
And I have lots of good evidence and information to back up why I think that way. And you can put in Bitcoin in my website and read it and click on the source links, and maybe I'll come on a show and you and I can have a battle royale.
I'm just for a competing currency. And
I am too.
So since all other currencies are fiat and this one's easy to use, I'm for the concept. I know Bitcoin eventually is going to go away because it's not as anonymous as they say it is. But for now, it's worth $350. Some people are using it, and it's voluntarily being used. That's why I like it.
My issue is the fact that it's insured by Credit Mutuel and the Central Bank of France. It has a banking ID number, which means it can be used as a bank account. And it is because it's
all right. You're going to make me go through your site now and find out.
That's
really?
the whole point, Dave.
I wanted to do a nice, easy show.
I'm sorry. Well, let's get back to the Federal Reserve. So the Federal Reserve this week, they said, hey, look, we know that the securitized derivatives, Las Vegas betting is really bad, but we're going to let the banks go ahead and do this for another 2 years so that they can sell off their hedge fund and private equity funds that they have, allowing them to continue business as usual with their trading, the same thing that caused the crash in 2008. So thank you, Federal Reserve. Thank you, Yellen, for that. I'm sure that everybody listening is clapping and happy about that. Maybe we should make a sign.
Unfortunately, most people don't even know who Yellen is. They're still thinking Greenspan.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I knew the name. I couldn't. I was trying to. I'm like Janet Yellen, right?
Janet Yellen, right?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, I do know who she is. All right, good. So I'm not that stupid. I'm all. I don't finances kind of when you get into the money talk. My eyes glaze over and I go, just because there's so much to it, and they've built it to make it difficult to understand.
Did you write an article saying? Hold on. Did you write an article saying don't be fooled by the Bitcoin Ponzi scheme?
Yes, I did.
Oh wow.
Yes.
We're gonna. You know what?
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna call you up on your show. I'm in
I don't have
mood.
one yet, but when I get one, I'll give you the number.
We'll have Dave.
Are you announcing that you're going to be my personal troll?
I might.
Dave's a good troll, though. He's not a mean troll. He's a good troll.
Right.
Well, that's cool because that way I can control my troll.
Right. I could.
It's not like some random guy just trolling me. Now I know my troll.
I could take it as well as dish it out.
Friendship.
Yeah.
We'll get Dave to be your producer for your show. How's that?
Well, then my Skype will go down magically.
Yeah, that is true. Good point.
As soon as I say Bitcoin, everything crashes. No pun intended.
That was a good one. Yeah. So.
All right. So what did the Federal Reserve? All right. So wasn't this in the just recently in the last budget thing? They slipped in all this stuff that kind of really killed the Dodd-Frank bill, right?
Right. And Citigroup wrote that personally and stuck that in there.
Yeah.
And yes.
Do you know what happened just a month prior at the G20 meeting?
No.
All right. Well, what they did was they announced that, and you could look it up. I'm not pulling this out of my ass. You know what happened in Cyprus when they forced the people of Cyprus to bail in the bank? That's now what they're going to do globally. The International Bank of Settlement says, all right, this is the way we're going to do it from this point on. They figured they talked about it at the G20 meeting in Brisbane, Australia, and nobody reported on it. Somebody reported on it because obviously I know about it. But so what you're saying is that what just happened just recently with the budget, they're extending the derivatives market again another 2 years. And prior to that, the Bank of International Settlement said, okay, from this point on, we're gonna use, instead of using and this is the way they tout it, is like, we're no longer going to use taxpayer dollars to bail us out. We're going to use investors' dollars. And what people don't realize is that when you put money in the bank, you're an investor. And what they're going to do is there's a list of people that are going to get paid back first, and the investors or the depositors are last on the list. So you're going to lose money.
This is something that I have been writing about for 2 years, because 2 years ago, the Bank of International Settlements sat down with all the heads of the central bankers and made this decision by 2019. They have to liquidate all of their assets and make sure that that their cooked books remain visible and correct. And so the banks are having problems, and they are pulling in more investors because they don't have the physical cash in order to create the synergy, the balance that they need. So this G20 announcement is just a furtherance of that same fact that I talked about.
Yep.
And here's the scary part about the bail-in and the investor part. And I've written several articles about this. In 2009, Sentinel Management Group went under, and they were a brokerage firm. and they were sued by Bank of New York Mellon to be first in line of creditors above the customers who got their accounts wiped out, because when a bank is insolvent, under duress, or in bankruptcy, they can take your money out of your checking account, CD, IRA, whatever it is, and use it to pay off their debtors. Now, a couple of years later, Bank of New York Mellon won. This was 2012. So they started the suit in 2009. They won in 2012 to be first in line of creditors above, like you said, the depositors, the other investors, all the way at the bottom. So it is now legal in this country, and has been for 2 years, for banks, if they're insolvent, under duress, or in bankruptcy, to use your deposit as collateral to other banks that they owe money to, or whoever they owe money to. And this fact kind of just like got swept under the rug, and everybody forgot what I was saying. But everything that I was saying back then is now happening. And that kind of freaks me out, because I don't like to be right about any of this. I like to be wrong. I like to be wrong because when I'm right, it means that the next phase is already in the works, because this phase has ended. It's come to its completion.
The scary part, and I kind of get what you there by being right, because unfortunately I've been right about a few things as well. And what sucks about that is now you're starting to think like them. And that's why you're right, because now you're like, all right, what's in it for them? Why are they doing it? Then you think of the most devious thing, and it turns out that's what they're doing.
Yes, if you and I spent a lot of time over the summer researching how corporations get to be where they are. Who do they talk to? Who advises these salesmen? Who creates these propaganda tools, like not Tim Robbins, but Anthony Robbins and Brian Tracy, if you've never heard of him, or Jim Rohn, or Jordan Benford, who was the person that they made The Wolf of Wall Street about. If you go on YouTube and you watch these men do their little spiel, your mouth will hit the floor, because mine did. I could not believe how much sales and marketing is involved in every aspect of our life. And we think, oh, Target's sending us this thing in the mail, and we see this commercial, and so when we go to the store, they ask us to sign up for stuff, and we don't think about how the marketing and the sales has infiltrated literally there is no aspect of your life where marketing and sales is not infiltrated. And the reason why that is because we are susceptible to the marketing. They've been perfecting this since Bernays. This is over 80 years in the making. That's why Obama is worried about public trust and the corporations who are policing us. That's why the climatologists want the UN out of climate change, because PR is the end and be all and the decider between whether or not you are successful or fail. And corporations, banking institutions, governments cannot afford to fail.
That's some pretty deep stuff. It's amazing how that works. Now, with that, corporations failing, because we're almost at the top of the hour here, and I want to get your opinion on one thing, and then I want you to promote something, or I want to ask you about something that you promote a lot. What's your take on this whole Sony hack? Do you believe North Korea? Do you believe something else?
Okay, first of all, when Team America World Police first came out, North Korea had nothing to say. And if I were North Korea or the North Korean Supreme Leader, I would have been highly offended, because that film was all about making fun of this dude's father.
Right.
Completely.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, they're upset because the interview is coming out. Let me remind people about that 14-minute movie that was on YouTube that suddenly sparked all of these revolutions.
Coney, are we talking about Coney, possibly?
No, Coney too, but also the Muslim movie, the 14-minute clip that incited all of these riots. Yeah. It's the same thing over again. It's just now they're using North Korea and this movie. Probably the movie was going to be a bomb. I don't know. I'm not too big on Seth Rogen, but whatever. This is a tactic that worked with that incident, and even though lots of things about Benghazi came out, it didn't do anything. Okay, so they're doing it again. We know that the corporations are not even utilizing the security systems that they have available to them now, and even those systems are not all-encompassing when it comes to hacking. The experts that I've quoted are saying that The mirroring techniques that hackers use, where they bounce off one server or one personal computer to get to another, to say that the IP address originated in Iran or originated in North Korea is ridiculous, because there are many techniques of mirroring, and some of them are more complex than others. But any rudimentary hacker can use the mirroring technique. So I don't believe a word when they say, oh, we've got the IP address, we know it was them. BS. You could mirror off of 50 different servers, and you're sitting in Switzerland, and you're bouncing off Wyoming, and you're bouncing off of Kathmandu, and you're bouncing off of Tibet, and you're bouncing off of New York. We don't even have the systems in place to do that much research to find exactly where it is originating. And if we did, it wouldn't take less than 36 hours.
Right.
Okay?
Yep. All right, so you're on the same page with us. Pretty much exactly what Dave and I said earlier is what you said. Would you agree, Dave?
Yep, definitely.
Yep, but almost exactly what we said. So we're on the same page with that. So that's cool. Good deal. And I've been noticing you're promoting something called Crystal Pure CBD. Are you part of that, or is that just something that you like or you agree with?
No, this is actually a product that my husband and I put together because I'd written several articles about the snake oil salesman, and I discovered something very disturbing about all of the CBD on the market made by hemp paste. The hemp paste is 85% God knows what coming out of China and 15% CBD. And when I look at these studies on PubMed, with these thousands of studies showing positive effects using cannabidiol on everything from cancer to stomach aches, and I'm serious, I'm not even joking, I'm not exaggerating, everything from cancer to stomach ache.
I use cannabidiol as much as I can, trust me. So I'm not against all.
Yeah, and so I saw that they were all using a crystalline form. They were not using the hemp paste because the hemp paste has toxic solvents in it. So I got a hold of a distributor who has Crystal Pure CBD. We added it to hemp seed oil, and it's available on the market. The same pharmaceutical grade that the pharmaceutical industry is using, and they're using a synthetic version. We have a plant-based version which has no plant material in it.
Hold
it's
on.
literally just shaved off of the buds of the hemp plant.
Crystal Pure CBD, it's called, Dave.
It looks like sugar.
So where is this available? I mean, obviously I live in Florida, so it's not available to me. Is it available?
Yes, it's available to you. Yes. We are FDA compliant, and we are in the process of becoming FDA approved. It's available in all 50 states. You can go to crystalpurecbd.com. You can also go to beyondcbd.com and order it there. Beyondcbd.com is our retail store where we have lots of other items, and they are all current laboratory tests proving their authenticity on the website, including our Crystal Pure CBD. We're tested, and it's 99.8% pure. And you can't find that anywhere on the market. And there is no other product like ours on the market. I have a customer who's using it with 2 dogs that are terminally ill with cancer, and they're now running and jumping and having a good time and eating. Excellent. And I have another customer who I just spoke to this week. He gave it to his 91-year-old mother who has terminal cancer, and she's finally sitting up and eating, and she wants to get up and move around. So this works.
Excellent.
Just recently, a friend of mine had come from California, and they brought chocolates. And I use cannabis for pain management because I have a neurological disorder, and I'm in pain every day, and that's how I choose to deal with it instead of the opiates that they prescribe me. So anyway, I got this chocolate that was pretty ass kicking, and I wound up cutting. It's like a Hershey's bar. You got 4 bars in it. I took the 1/4 of the bar and then cut that into eighths, and I was eating that, and it worked well. And I met this girl at work whose father had brain cancer, and I gave her a bar and I told her to cut it in eighths. And it was a week or 2 later that I wound up seeing her because it was Thanksgiving. And she told me that her father for the first time got up and made dinner because it worked so well.
We have been talking to people with making Charlotte's Web, and they are excited about this because ours is Crystal Pure CBD. It's just the CBD and hemp seed oil. Mm-hmm. And you can add as much THC as you want. And the other thing that I realized is nobody has any medical advice about what to do with CBD. So my husband and I contacted Novus Medical Group, which is a national conglomerate of doctors, health professionals, RNs that all work with medical marijuana and CBD. And if you join Novus Medical Group, you can buy our product at wholesale. You can save about $80 or $90 on our product, because I not only want to make sure that people get the product, and the help that it will give them. But I also want to make sure that if you have any need for medical advice, that you have the opportunity to get that, because that is important as well. Some people might need a higher dose or a lower dose, depending on what you're using it for. If you're just using it for preventative, then you could maybe take a lower dose. But if you're using it for seizures or cancer or stomach disorders or things like that, you might want to talk to a professional and make sure you're taking the correct dose.
So this product could be used with somebody. This product could be used with somebody with fibromyalgia, per se?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there's 3 studies on PubMed that was done within the last year where it has positive effects on fibromyalgia, actually reducing and eliminating, and the effects of fibromyalgia. And when they do these studies, by the way, it's 800% over placebo, which is ridiculous. No pharmaceutical would ever get that. Cannabidiol works, and Crystal Pure CBD, which is just pure CBD, works. The hemp paste, I don't know about. People go to the hospital. Project CBD put out a report, a 30-page report, and I spoke with them because I wrote an article about this. And people are going to the hospital for long stays because they're taking the paste. But when you just have pure CBD, there are no adverse effects, no side effects, no nothing. And you can, like I said, you can add as much, if you purchased our product, you could add as much THC to it as you'd like. Or if you want, you can talk to a healthcare professional that we can provide, and you can get whatever dose that you think is right after speaking with them about it.
Very interesting, because I've been seeing that around, and I didn't know what that was, and I didn't know it was available here in Florida or throughout the entire country. So I'd like to look into that some more, because my father has fibromyalgia. I finally got him to start medicating with regular marijuana, but he doesn't like the high. It's not what he's in for.
Me neither.
Right.
I want to do pain management without the high. Although,
I'll
be honest, I do enjoy it.
This is a way for people to do that. The Rick Simpson, when people make the Rick Simpson oil, they have that same problem. And we've spoken to people who are purchasing our product because there is no THC involved. You can add it to it if you want, but there's no THC involved.
What's the Rick Simpson oil?
He created a concoction that uses cannabidiol and other products, and he displays that on his website. He doesn't sell it himself. He tells you how he made it. And the problem that people are having is they're using the hemp paste in order to make it, and it's making people sick. And then the THC content, not everybody wants to be high to get the effects of cannabidiol. And these studies that I'm talking about on PubMed, and studies that the U.S. government has, in 2003, they patented it as a cancer treatment. Okay, they said that THC and cannabidiol work together, but they're not mutually exclusive in the sense that they are. Oh wait, let me scratch that and start over again. THC and cannabidiol can be used together, but cannabidiol is the medicinal part. THC is a neuroreceptive inhibitor, so you don't feel the pain, which is fine, and it has its medicinal purposes for that. But the actual molecule that will tell your cells that are behaving abnormally to shut off, that will reduce the fibromyalgia or the swelling, inflammation with arthritis or pre-arthritis or any kind of arthritis, affects seizures, stops seizures from occurring. That is the cannabidiol itself. And that's why I'm selling the cannabidiol, because that's the part. You can add to it whatever you want.
Right.
But if you don't have the cannabidiol to begin with, you're not going to get better.
All right. So what do you think the recommended dosage is for, let's say, a guy like me who's using it for pain management? I don't need a lot. I'm looking here. It's a 10 milliliter bottle. Because it's a little pricey, but I'm kind of thinking about it.
Well, you can go to Novus Medical Group and get about $80 or $90 off of that and buy it for wholesale. And if you get friends to work with you, you can purchase larger quantities on wholesale, which would reduce your cost even further. The maximum dose that we recommend is 24 drops per day, which would give you about 12.5 days on one bottle. But like I said, Novus Medical Group has lots of wonderful doctors that can help you. Maybe you need a little bit less, maybe you need a little bit more. They know, they're doctors, they're trained, and they work with medical marijuana and cannabidiol all day long. That's what they specialize in. So if you go through them, I recommend you go through them and get the discount and get the advice. And so you actually, get rid of the problem, because that's what we need. We just need these health problems to actually be stopped and go away.
I'm definitely game to even to try. Oh, begins October. Oh, okay. I'm on novusmedicalgroup.com. I'm looking to see how to join. because I will definitely do this. I will.
If you have any problems, my husband is always available. Posel@msn.com. You can email him, and he'll talk with you. You can exchange phone numbers, and he'll call you if you need any advice.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad we talked about that because I've been wondering what that was, and I'm going to have to get my father to look into that because that's something that helped him out greatly. He doesn't like the edibles. Occasionally maybe some edibles might show up here, every once in a while, and I give him some. He doesn't like them, and he can't smoke because he was a very heavy cigarette smoker for over 30 years, and he has a mild case of emphysema. But the smoking of it does better for him, but he can't smoke it. So it's
right,
like,
and when you burn the marijuana, you kill the effects of cannabidiol. So it has to be ingested another way. The best way to ingest the cannabidiol is through drops under the tongue and let the saliva do its thing, and it helps to break down the molecule. You're going to lose a portion of it through the digestive system. But again, ours is 99.8% pure. So when you do lose that small percentage in the digestive system, you're still getting a massive quantity of it to begin with. I'll just give you an example with the dogs. The customer called us today to ask about one of her dogs. Should she up the dosage or lower the dosage? It's the smaller of the two, and we were talking to her about weight and how healthy the living conditions of the dog is to begin with. People don't realize that when you take CBD, first of all, you have to be hydrated. Make sure that you drink enough water, and you should take a healthy dose of vitamin C every day. That helps the cannabidiol. There's lots of other advice that I wish I could give you, but I'm not trained to, and the FDA won't let me say it. But once I become FDA approved, I can tell you everything that I know, but I can tell you in private.
You can't tell us here, but we can talk in private.
But email us at posel@msn.com, and we will answer all of your questions. And if we can't answer your question, we will get you somebody who can.
Excellent. Well, Susanna, it's been a great hour. I love having you on. It's always a good time with you. Your website, occupycorporatism.com. Make sure you guys go check her out. What's your Twitter handle?
OCCU Corporatism. OCCU Corporatism.
Excellent. All right, Susanna, you have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of your night. Have a wonderful Christmas. Happy holidays. And I hope you guys, I hope we talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Anytime. Just hit me up. I'd love to come back on.
Great, dear. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you, guys.
There
Bye-bye.
goes Susanna. I really appreciate the time she gives us. I love the information she has. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with you guys in a few minutes. Get done what you got to get done because it is the third hour. Don't forget. Talk to you soon.
All right. I got to medicate.
All right. We're clear.
Oh, look,
Yeah,
look here. I'm looking at this Novus Medical Group, and it says, which state was your medical marijuana identification number issued? It's not.
Yeah, I don't have one.
What state? The state of Dave.
The state of Dave. That sounds like an interesting product. I've been wanting to ask her about that, so
Yeah.
I'm glad I got to talk to her.
I've already emailed somebody else about it.
Have you?
Yeah. Because I looked at it, I was like, I got a friend of mine, a guy I went to school with, whose daughter is an epileptic, and
Sweet.
we've been going back and forth about medical cannabis, and this is perfect. It's fucking expensive, but it's perfect.
How much is it a bottle? I didn't see.
$200.
A bottle?
Yeah, for
12
10 millimeters.
days.
Well, she said 24 doses a day.
Right. She said that's up to that's about 12.5 days per bottle.
Right. So if that, I would think that's probably worst case scenario. I bet you I can get away with two. One drop in the morning, one drop at night. Or I could just do one in the morning so that I can go to work and not be in pain. When I come home, I'll smoke.
Right.
Or something. But
maybe 3 in the morning and then smoke at night, possibly.
Whatever it happens to be, I'm willing to fucking take the chance because I got a whole fucking room full of people that are older than I am that have the same disease, and I would love for them to get a hold of this.
Well, she said she wanted to talk to me off air. This was earlier this week about a proposition. I wonder if it has anything to do with that.
Cool.
So I'll have to check that out and figure it out.
All right. It's time for me to
go do your thing.
Get in-
Lexi's going to
get
be
in-
here with us in the third. We're on a break right now.
Oh.
La 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 la.
Hi.
Hi.
You
Hi,
guys
man.
are on break right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went long with Susanna.
Suzanne.
How did
It's
that go?
Suzanne. If you look at Occupy Corporatism,
I think it's Suzanne.
It's Suzanne.
Susanna.
Read the word. It says Suzanne. There's no A at the end. It's an E.
Suzanne.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Right.
I
The
don't know
whole
why
time.
I keep calling her
right.
I mess her name up all
like
the time.
you're thinking,
Right.
oh, Susanna.
Oh,
like waiting for you to break out in song.
Lexi, you missed it. Well, in the last break
Aw,
when we were talking, she cursed. You know,
Oh my God.
Yeah, she don't curse. She was like, I don't fuck. What'd she
Yeah.
say? Like fucking right?
I fucking told you. I've been fucking saying
It
this
came
or something.
right out of her mouth.
You have that recorded, right?
Yeah. Well, it's on YouTube. Yeah. I'll get it. All right, I'm gonna do my thing.
All right.
She gave a light to the Lord.
I would come in on a break.
Yeah, we went a little long.
He's been asleep for like 20 or so minutes. He was laying on me. And I was thinking you'll be coming out any minute. And then it was like 13 or 10 after. And I was like, oh.
Careful. How that keyboard, please.
That's not on YouTube, is it?
Yeah. That's on YouTube.
Been good show so far?
The first hour was rough. I was way off the first hour. I just wasn't really in the show today. Covering last night, so because after that whole
I almost fell asleep out there.
after that whole top shooting in New York, it kind of brought me down. Where like I didn't want to speak about how I cut off a lot of what I wanted to talk about.
I'll make it on my own. Cause I've been gone since you walked out. And I get up when I fall down on my own. I'll make it on my own.
And new direction. The Lord's forgiven you of everything. Life you don't want there. And you should
Your Communist America on DVD. Have your credit card ready.
A mosque in the worst possible place. The controversy? It's only 2 blocks from Ground Zero. This week, Sarah Palin, up to already raucous debate, went on Twitter. She called on peaceful Muslims.
Yo, sensory deception. You ain't sensing a shit. Yo. Yo, it's sensory deception. Can't censor my perception. Yo, it's sensory deception. You can't censor my all the senselessness has got me sensing less. Nonsensical sentences from the censorship. 5 senses regret, depressants, stimulants, sensory perception, deception. We on defense. Intentionally intense technical events. Unintellectually infecting us through television sets. Couch potato brain, but vegetated is stew. They regulated my views to entertainment and news. Infiltrated.
I saw a picture of Tommy and Rachel karate.
Karate with her.
Eating the shit. Yeah, I saw that. You got little girls needing to believe me. I believe it, bro. That's the blame. All became a part of this. Blinded by the greed. We couldn't see the harmonious artists in charge of marketing offices, planting the artificial seeds and harvesting the narcissist. So it's sensory deception. You can't censor my perception. Hey yo, it's sensory deception. You can't censor my yo. Hey yo, I touch it, I taste it, I smell it, I hear it, I see it. Love it, I hate it, don't want it there. I need it. It's sensory deception. You can't censor my perception. Hey yo, I touch, taste, smell, hear, see, love, hate. Yo, it's mass murder with frankfurters and hamburgers. Supersize your suicidal pack. You arrive on $1 to and swallow that. Superficial world where everything's a fallacy. High speed hookup disconnectors from reality. All knowing Android avoid is from thinking. Jim Jones, pop, cold, poison, punch, drinking.
Repetitive lines, hypnotize subconsciousness, rebellious rhymes, sabotage the reconnaissance. Supreme dominance over the whole populace. Hollowed out my head and filled the void with empty promises. Bionic, I'm finding it ironic. They cutting down the truth to write lies on it. Sexual saturation, instant gratification. Consume a nation, missing imagination. Mass communication, trapped in isolation. Handful of corporations got a grip on all the stations. You know why? It's sensory deception. You can't censor my perception. Hey yo, it's sensory deception. You can't censor no. Hey yo, I touch it, I taste it, I smell it, I hear it, I see it. Love it, I hate it, don't want it there. I need it. It's sensory deception. You can't censor my perception. Hey yo, I touch, taste, smell, hear, see, love, rock it.
Did I scare you? What the hell are you guys doing in there?
Hey guys, it's your boy Spicoli here. Reminded you to listen to Gonzo Radio, Tuesday nights at 10 on RazRadioLive.com. You'll hear some smart comments.
I should have been an abortion. Would the proper vernacular be bullshitted or bullshit?
This is a house of learned doctors.
You'll hear some stupid shit.
I'm going with the vernacular of bullshit, like bullshatner.
You also got my co-host Mike Meyer.
That is hardly a pedophile picture, buddy. You haven't seen my pedophile picture yet.
And his ever ladylike girlfriend Brittany.
They're fucking retarded down here.
The grown-ups, motherfucker!
We just like to hang out, have a good time, don't get too serious.
When you oppress people, they rise up in a fiery anger!
Give us a call at 941-421-0401.
La 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 la.
Yeah, she's just are we still on Skype?
Yeah, right?
Right.
You mean am I Google Hangout?
Whatever it is.
You want me to, I'll mute it.
Hanging out in the Google later.
That's awesome.
White power.
La la la. I want one.
That's what happened with
I want a Fort Toe Jones sticker.
Oh, you gonna put that on your car? But you yell at me for the Raz sticker?
I have Raz Radio on my car.
I put the
And
Frank
so it
sent me,
begins.
Frank sent me a Heist Click sticker like a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I put it on my truck, and it looked white. I put it on my truck, and it was fucking black, and I put on the black tinted windows on the back of my truck. You can barely see it.
Yeah.
I told you I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna etch it. I'm gonna get that etching acid, etch the window. You know, the window etching acid.
Yeah, he gave me stickers too that I can't put on my fucking car because they're black. It's just like these. Can't use these.
Why gotta be black?
I should have thought. White power.
Why that shit gotta be black, dog?
Wow. White power. Nuka.
Nuggle.
It's just the way he says it because it's not really like.
Oh my god, it cracks me up when you say nuggle.
Right. I can't even do it, but he does it so well. I actually I have it. I have a sample of it. I almost I was deleting shit off my desktop, right? And I was like, what is this nigga on my nigga.mp3 on my, let me get rid of that. Can't be good.
What's this niggle?
Right.
All right, hold on, everybody. Sit tight.
Niggle.
What's happening?
Where's my keyboard? Where's my mouse?
I don't know, niggle.
Well, you know what it's time for, right?
They're watching your mouse movements.
I looked that up. It's the Adam and Dave Show. Hey, everybody. I'm a little high.
Very.
I'm in such a good mood now, too. I'm really going to look this shit up. You got to see the question. Oh.
Hey guys, it's Popeye from FederalJack.com. You're listening to the First 52, where you can hear the inmates run the insane asylum.
Hey, mama.
And I know you all know what that sound means. The third hour of the First 52 on RazRadioLive.com. We're going to have some fun. Phone lines are open, 941-421-0401 if you want to give us a call. I gotta be honest, I was kind of feeling stupid there at the end of the interview because you guys got into that whole banking conversation, and I'm stupid when it comes to that.
Well, basically what it means is...
I gotta turn you on.
Derpy.
That's kind of why I throw it over to you, Dave.
Well, essentially... I can't talk banks with fucking her dancing and listening to this music. What I want to do is... What was I saying?
That's going to be one of the last times you guys hear that on a Saturday night.
Aww.
Oh, you're begging for it and dying for it. Shut up. Oh, me.
I'll still miss this though.
I'm sure.
11 o'clock hour.
I'm sure we'll be like, let's do a show right now.
Well, that's the thing. I told Lexi, if I'm on call for work and there's nothing going on and we're just doing podcasts, I might say, hey, let's do a show tonight. So you might hear it every occasionally on a Saturday night.
What was that?
I'm not sure.
Every occasionally?
Yeah, every occasionally on a Saturday night. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet with the show or if you're even going to be involved with it during the week. I'm going to pick up some dead spots on Raz Radio in between the weekday shows. Do an hour here, an hour there, 2 hours here. Who knows? I might end up doing more radio now, doing it daily or on a sporadic case during the week than I am on Saturday nights alone. So it'll work out. I'm gonna miss Saturdays though. I mean, shit, I've been doing Saturdays.
You're gonna wait a minute. No. It's not gonna take you very long to get right back into the Saturday groove. Like the 4 or 5 weeks were
Dude,
off.
we've got a 6-year-old. What do you think we get into on a Saturday
Oh
night?
no, that month we were off was fantastic.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Wasn't yes. It? Yes.
Well, because we spent family time, and that's why we're changing. Is because we need the family time.
And you're happier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sean is never happy. He always feels like he's missing out on something.
That is true.
You know, like little kids that don't want to go to bed. You know, they're tired.
That's a great analogy.
Kid that doesn't want to go to bed.
Well, I'm just making a comparison.
Okay, I got you now. Making a comparison.
Yeah, well.
So, Dave, how you doing over there, buddy?
I'm fucking fine.
Fucking fine. You know, we got to do a Steve video tonight. He's got his holiday video. That
Dude,
came out.
I haven't watched in like fucking 2 months. I'm kind of letting them. I'm letting them queue up so I could binge watch them. All in one day.
I don't know if I could sit and binge watch that. I mean, I could watch like one or two.
Dude, I watched like 31 episodes in a row.
The DUI, Steve, the DUI guy.
Just sitting in my chair for like 2 hours.
Yeah, I don't.
Really?
I don't know if I could do that.
No, there's a Christmas one with his cousin. Does he make out with her?
That's why I'm getting queued up to play that up. I'm not ready for you yet, Steve. Crazy. So, what's your plans for the Christmas holidays, Dave?
Not to get in trouble.
Not to get. Well, that's always a good plan. That should be your plan every day, honestly.
Yeah, it should be. I'm going to be
just
40,
for the record.
I'm going to be 47, and I'm just starting to learn that. I should plan to live every day.
Breathe easy. Don't break the law.
I didn't say that, but I'm just like,
Whoa.
I've done some great. I don't give a shit about breaking the law. I mean, that's not going to kill me.
But you can breathe.
Well, I don't know, Dave. It could kill you.
Well, I'm just like, even today on the bicycle, I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, 25 years ago, I could do anything on a bike.
Now he's having a hard time pedaling it.
Well, no, because I think about it. I'm like, I'd like to jump that. I'd like to do that because this is the way to ride.
Dave, don't be jumping shit.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing.
Don't do that.
Right. 25 years ago, I was skilled and strong enough to do what I wanted to do in my head. I made it happen. And if I fell, it wasn't all that bad. But falling now hurts.
25 years ago, you were just stupid enough to do it, and you didn't. Yeah. You could rebound from an injury. You weren't skilled
I was good.
Smart.
Dude, I was good at mountain bike riding, man. Seriously.
Don't tell me he wasn't skilled. He's convinced, just like
I know.
Convinced you're skilled at driving.
I'm very skilled at driving.
Okay.
I haven't been in an accident. And,
I didn't mean to go down this road. That's all.
I think you and I suffer from the same problem, Sean.
We're men?
No, we think we're really good drivers, and we drive aggressively.
We are aggressive drivers.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't really sometimes. Well, the first couple of times I was in your car scared me, but now I'm kind of used to it and I get it. And I see that you're not a bad driver. You're making me uncomfortable because you drive faster than everybody else. And that's probably what I do too.
Well, I drove ambulances for 10 years. When you drive something with big red lights and the siren, you kind of are a little aggressive. Right. Even when they're not on, you're still extreme. You just pile up on somebody, they get out of your way. That's how I drive. I can't help it. When you're used to that. I remember I was on this call once and we had the medic, because in Jersey, EMTs drive the ambulances and the medics drive like cop cars or SUVs, and they meet you at the scene. Not medics, paramedics, the BT or the ALS. And so what would happen is one of our EMTs would go drive the medic car, and then the medics would get in our ambulance and we'd transport to the hospital. So we're on the way to the hospital this one time, and Jersey, we have circles, but not like in Florida roundabouts. We had circles, and we're talking. Imagine what are two major highways in your town?
Here in Tampa?
Yeah, like 80 and
Hillsborough 70. Avenue, which is right outside my door here.
Right.
And Dale Mabry.
All right. So imagine those two roads meeting in a circle with no lights and just going. This is what our circles were like. And then they started installing lights on them to make them flow better, which didn't make them flow better.
Right.
And this one time I was on this call and I'm going through this intersection, and it was 70 and 73 in Marlton, New Jersey. If anybody knows where that is, you can figure out where that was. And I'm on this was our newer ambulance, right?
If you know, then you know.
Right.
If you don't, then
if you don't know, now you know.
then you don't know.
And so this was our newer ambulance. This was like a brand new ambulance, and we had two sirens on it. So we had dual sirens, so you could have two different sounding sirens going, and we had a massive air horn.
All right, we get it.
I got myself through this intersection.
Oh my God.
And the medic comes up to me and she's like, "Jesus, how did you get through there like that?" That was the point of the story.
Long way to get there.
Point.
Yeah, so you're a good driver.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a very good driver.
He's practicing telling grandpa stories.
Well, no, but you're an aggressive driver. You're
aggressive.
You have to be sympathetic to the other drivers. Well,
I don't have to be sympathetic to fuck. Get out of my way.
No, well, if you want to be a cooler friend, because.
Oh, you mean a passion?
I didn't really drive all that aggressively the first time Kevin and Amber came here.
Right.
But he was making it out like I drove like I was crazy. I might have done one thing here and there. I'm like, dude, that's nothing. I'm actually kind of calm.
Well, that's like when we went to the Christmas party last year and you drove. I was like freaking. That's why I had to sit in the front seat. Remember, I had to sit in the front seat. And I'm like holding on. I'm like, he hits the. Remember, he went through the freaking toll booth at like 95 miles an hour.
I don't know. I wasn't nervous when Dave was driving.
Well, that's because you were in the back seat drinking beer.
No, I'm usually. Oh yeah, that's right. I was drunk.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was drunk.
That's why.
That's why. You know, our car hit a year old the other day, and we've already got 22,000 miles on it.
Wow.
I don't know.
Because we bought it at Adam's party, the day of Adam's party last year.
Yeah. Wow.
That's 20 something.
22,000 miles.
Well, how many out of state trips? Didn't you take like 3 out of state trips?
We went to Virginia. We went to Pennsylvania.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. And then, but we travel to Jacksonville, Orlando.
Yeah.
Multiple times a year. Yeah. So, which is a drive for us.
22,000 miles is a significant amount of miles to be driving.
Well, she drives 60 miles a day.
Far.
Oh, it's about what? 30 miles. No, it's not 30. It's 20 miles.
It's
you
just
like 40 miles a day.
I'm just telling you, it's significant.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
As a truck driver, I'm telling you that. You know,
that's why we don't lease.
Right.
Leasing
we went up
sucks.
to Pennsylvania. I got an oil change right before we left, and by the time we got back, I was due for another
almost.
Yeah. I did pretty much. Same thing with the little truck too. I bought it and I put some shit in it, and I drove it to Vermont. And I did an oil change right before I left. Came back, I had 3,500 miles on it in 2 weeks.
Yep.
I love that.
That's it. It's pretty much what we've done with that car. It's a good car for travel, and it's very comfortable.
Yeah.
That drive to Virginia was kind of fun. I like the stops and the.
Well, we didn't Mikey on that one either. Well, we had him to
know.
Jacksonville, and then we left him with your mother in Jacksonville. So
I know.
it was a nice little drive after that.
Nice.
Taking pictures of all the stops. They're just like rest stops. And I'm like, yay, you're here.
You know what I like? The last time I drove down from New York, was it May? I did an 18-hour straight. And let me tell you, I loved doing it. It was an excellent drive. I can't believe I did 18 hours in a car. You know,
that's a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I went from fucking Long Island to Tampa in a day, in less than a day.
We did Jacksonville to Pennsylvania with his parents in the car and Mikey in the car in one day, and that was
that was rough. That was 15 hours.
Yeah, on the way back, I'm like, we're not doing that again. We are stopping, sir.
Michelle, I gotta say, Michelle put out the best point. She said, "Skilled at driving. You're from Jersey. Enough said." Thanks, Michelle. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, but I think that's a dig.
Yeah, I know that's a dig. I'm not stupid. See, she's used to North Jersey drivers. I'm a South Jersey driver. There's a big difference. There's a big difference.
Not. Stop.
It's two different worlds.
You guys didn't even have fucking traffic lights. You had circles.
They took them all out though because nobody could figure out how to negotiate.
The only circle we have is Columbus Circle.
We have a lot of circle. I live in a circle. First of all.
Why would they have traffic lights at a circle?
Even
that defeats
a
the whole
rotunda.
Because it's fucking Jersey.
Yeah, well, because the traffic got so heavy. I mean, like I was saying, imagine 41 imagine where 41 and 776 meet.
I lived in the UK where they didn't have speed limits on some roads, and they had they called them roundabouts, but they didn't have lights. They figured it out.
It's car and traffic talk on the first.
It's the third hour.
Right.
I forgot the bell.
What's wrong with you, Junior? You must bring your bell. Oh, I got a great drop for you, Dave. I haven't gotten to use this yet. I wish you would actually call in.
That's a great drop.
You heard it?
What? No, I can't hear anything.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hold on, one more time. Una más.
Ooh, it's echo.
I've been playing at like for a half hour now.
We can't hear it on this end. No, I'm mix minus.
Yeah,
that's horrible. I sound like crap. There we go. Thank you. All right, here you ready? You'll like this one.
Can I just say that it felt very good to be cradled by Wayne in a fetal position as if I was a baby.
That was shifty.
Well, I get it, but why does it sound so shitty?
Because that's when he called in that night when he was all drunk.
Oh,
in the third hour, like 2 months ago.
Yeah, that big fight.
What?
Steve, the DUI guy.
Big fight.
I thought we were doing that.
I'm getting there.
Nice segue.
All right, you guys want to hear the Steve the DUI Christmas one?
Yep.
Sure.
All right, let me see here. I gotta find it again. There it is. All right, here we go. Steve the DUI guy, Christmas, Cousin Whitney's punch tin art.
Ah, Cousin Whitney's back! I knew it!
House too, Steve.
Whitney's back! Hell yeah, Cousin Whitney. What's up, man?
I came to show you about my arts and crafts.
Arts and crafts?
Yep. It's actually really easy. It's punch tin
So
art.
This is the Christmas gift thing that you were telling me about? Yep. Okay, this is some badass shit. All right, Whitney. She got a couple things that we can do for people you don't really give a fuck about, but you want it to look like you do. You know, sometimes you don't want to spend no fucking money and shit on people. So here's some shit you can make on simple. This is gonna get me some ass.
No.
Mom's gonna like it.
Yep.
All right, so we have some tins, some metal dollar short trays. What do we do with this?
First thing, you want to put the sticker on there.
Right. Fucking stick up. You can like draw it too.
Yeah, you could draw it.
Because sometimes it's hard to find a penis.
It's actually really hard.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you gotta draw. Like, you can't always find the right kind of penis that you want to punch tin art.
If you want, you could do that, but I suggest more like a snowflake or something that you could bring.
If I'm gonna give the fucking punch tin art to Doodle, I'm giving him a big fucking dick. You gonna do a snowflake?
Yep.
Dick.
Show us how basic concept works on that deal right there. God, do you ever almost puke and then you go, I don't feel like puking right now. This is a good time for me to do a shot.
Pour me
Me too.
Fuck yeah. You might want to pour your fucking self one too. Yeah, go ahead, take a rip off of that. I'd be bowling, but you can't catch it through alcohol. You're fucking Whitney's fucked up. Let me have that tin underneath there.
At your dad's house on the holiday.
I need a sticker.
There's your sticker.
Okay. Check this shit out.
So they've got tins and they're making tin art with tins and nails.
Oh, I like it. This might take like fucking a day and a half.
Yeah. I'm done. Are you done? Yep. All right, let's check it out. See what we did. Feel it, bud? I like it. I made a mustache. I made fucking titties. Hey, pretty fucking fun hanging out and stuff. I like when you come by. Hey, this is something cool you can do too, right? You take this deal here and you take a drill or a screw, right? And then you just pop holes in it, right? You just pop all the holes in it. You put holes in it, goddammit, Whitney! Okay, so then you put a bunch of holes in it and make like a star or a fucking teddy or something like that. And then you just fucking drop a candle in there. I tell you what, fuck that cigarette. Fucking cool of you hung out with me again. We should go smoke fat bowls. Let's do it.
You know,
Hey, look, we got shit on
not
sale
watching
in
it,
store for the whole
I don't like it.
And everybody gets a free
He sounds like a
shit,
fucking
don't
ignorant
we?
asshole. But when you watch the video, it's much funnier. So, like, I think you should shut it off. Should I tell him?
And Jordan from Cleveland,
We'll just write it out.
To reflect. It's fucking cool,
Oh, you were
man.
talking
You're
to
gonna
me?
rock it out. I'll see you out next Friday. Fuck out of here.
I got
You
shit to do.
Shit to do.
That one was good. You got to watch it though. to
I know
really get
that's
all
the
of
thing. That's what I was saying. Is like it loses a lot of its value with just without the video.
It is. That was hilarious. That was really good. I hope you guys could get where I was laughing and kind of visually see what was making me laugh.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Maybe
You're
my
such a
imagination.
fucking-
No, maybe-
Jesus, you're such a downer.
No, just it's much funnier. The visuals are much funnier. It's much funnier when you see it because you
Did
are.
you put up a Christmas tree?
No.
Oh.
You didn't put up a Christmas tree?
Those are my Christmas lights. They've been here. You've seen these. I have LED lights that go across where the keyboard is, so I could see the keyboard, but yet keep it dark in here.
It smells like Christmas in here, though.
I wish it smelled like Christmas in here.
Aw.
It smells like dirty resin in here.
I know. We have terrible
Ew.
contacts going on.
Kayfabe it.
This, what's his name? It's Silent Bob. Just back in the background.
What's up?
Jabbing in today.
Stabbing.
Jabbing.
Just sticking it in.
No, cool.
Stick it in deep. So we talked about Rob's fundraiser, guys. Don't forget about that. Dave, fourtoedjones.com.
Yeah,
You
forward
wanna
you
go
right
there?
to right. Forward you. I put a forward on there today because I don't
You
use
want to
that.
say that again? 2-time Dave?
Oh.
Stuttering Dave. We're going to call him Stuttering Dave from now on. What do you think? Bob, what do you think? That work for you?
You can call me anything you want because I only have to listen to it for another week.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
Did I mention this is his last show?
Wait, what? Is it your last show?
No, he'll
Or
be
is that
here
a
with us
joke,
Saturday.
right?
He'll be here with us next Saturday.
She's
You
like,
will?
that's a joke, right? I get it.
He said he was going to come, but he's broke. Can't come down.
No.
Who are you doing Christmas with?
No one. I did Christmas at Thanksgiving.
Well, that was Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, I got to see my
That's two
mother.
different holidays.
I got my mother and my son there, and we did Christmas.
You're not going to go see your
Come
mom?
stay
For,
with us for Christmas.
No, man, I'm gonna work the day before and the day after. I'm just gonna take the day off. I'll now watch Ralphie shoot his eye out.
Makes me feel sad.
I'm glad you said it 'cause I
Why?
didn't want to say it without your permission. So, yeah, come stay with us.
No. I want to be alone. I want to be
No, you
relaxed.
don't.
Yes, I do.
You're lying.
I saw my family already.
Oh, what are we? Chop liver?
Well, again, I don't have the money. I gotta fucking pay this stupid ticket off.
Fuck the ticket. They'll just suspend your license.
Yeah, and then I get arrested. Are you gonna bail me out?
No.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't have money to bail
$600.
you out.
It was 7 years ago. $600 to get me out.
That's
of
probably $1,500 now.
Yeah. Okay, you know, and
Fuckers.
fucking Pinellas County takes a credit card over the phone for bail. Like I literally could call my mother, Ma, get out your fucking black card.
And get me out of jail.
Yeah, I mean, bail me out.
Buzzy thinks I'm a bad driver. I can't drive because I live in Florida. I'm not from Florida, Buzzy. I've only been here like 9-10 years. Doesn't mean I can't drive. Lexi's from Florida, so that might be another issue.
I drive very well, thank you.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, she's moody, isn't she? Well, she's been with the kid all night, so they were watching Christmas movies.
Don't make excuses for my mood. I'm in a just fine mood.
Okay.
And you with the raring.
She's yelling at you, Dave.
Uh-uh.
You're right, Sean. She is a
Oh,
little
my
feisty today.
Hey.
Yeah. She's been feisty recently.
You don't have to make excuses. It is. She is feisty.
So,
La 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 la. Play the song again.
Dave, do you trust Noah?
What?
Who?
Do you trust Noah?
Noah's Ark?
No, Noah, National Oceanic, blah 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 blah.
It all depends. They've put out some information that was totally verifiable.
Totally verifiable.
You know, when I was first down here, I went and I found Noah was the best predictor of where the storms were going to go.
Oh, the hurricanes?
Yeah, and they were pretty.
The thing we haven't had in like 8 years here in Florida.
I think 9, but yeah.
No, we had one come through since I've been here. It hit here, but it hit Florida since I've been here.
Yeah, you weren't here for when 1 and 04 hit, were you?
No, Charlie, neither one of us. Lexi was in England when that hit. Her
That's
dad
awesome.
was Salty was here. Salty, he said it was probably the best 2 months of his life, didn't he? I seem to remember him saying that. There was no power, and they would go sit out in the street. He had a generator, so they kicked the generator on.
He had a little karaoke machine.
Yeah, and all the
grill.
neighbors would all come out and they'd grill around this karaoke machine every night. He said it was the best time ever. He made friends with all his neighbors. As soon as the power came on, he never saw any of them again. I swear to God.
That's sad. That's funny and sad.
People come together when they're limited.
Yeah,
They
well,
do.
that's the thing. Everybody talks about if bad things happen, there will be bad people doing stupid things. But I think majority would come together and unite and make things go well.
Yeah. You know, it's nice to be nice. And they're like, the day before yesterday, I helped some lady out in the parking lot where I work. She had a Ford, not the Excursion, not the big one, but the Expedition, the one below it.
Right.
I had to push it across the park. Fortunately, the spot behind her was empty, and she was at the curb. So I had to push her car back into another parking spot, then pull my truck up and start the thing. And I was like, help somebody out. That I just was actually leaving, and I saw the hood up, and I came back. I was like, you need help? And it makes me feel good to like actively seek people.
I'm somebody that does that on a regular basis if I have time. Like I will always stop it and I don't mean that rudely, but if I'm going to be late for work or I have an
Meanwhile, you
appointment-
get mad when the 70-year-old neighbor shows up because their AC isn't working. You're like, you have to call the.
Well, that's different. I gotta get paid for my job. You got to call the answering service. Don't knock on my fucking door.
AC's not working.
I mean, there is a process for that. That's different. That's my job. If I was just a guy that lived here that knew how to fix it and she locked on my door, I'd probably go help her.
They're old. They don't know.
God, don't even start me on that. Don't even start me on that. Did you see the video of Mikey from the Christmas party that I posted, Dave? Or Silent Bob?
I think so. I don't remember what it was though. I saw pictures.
Yeah, I posted a video of Mikey, and it's him on the dance floor, surrounded by women, and he's like dancing and smiling.
Oh no, I would have remembered that. I didn't see it.
He was like surrounded. They like formed a circle around him.
It was pretty good.
I could totally see him owning it too.
He did. Oh, he did.
All night.
Well, see, the thing is,
drag him out.
It's funny because Lexi will tell you, like I go in and I know all these people. I'm in their house regularly. So, I'm making my rounds, and Mikey gets in there and he ran away, and he's just going up to each individual because all the residents know him too. He just sits down at a table and he just starts talking with these old people. He sits there for like 10, 15 minutes, moves to another table, and he was collecting swords. And by the end of not by the end of the night, about halfway through the night, old people are walking up to our table and giving them their sword, drink swords.
Right.
The little spiky swords
right.
for the fruits and shit. Swords. We're going to have a sword fight.
No homo.
I see your sword is as big as mine. I love that movie.
I know you do.
See? She's feisty. Very, very feisty.
I just said I know you do. What is that? What do you want me to say?
I don't know.
Alternatively, that wouldn't be feisty. Considerably.
Considerably?
Tell him he's a good driver.
That's not happening ever.
Oh my goodness. I am a good driver. As long as you're alive when we arrive.
Yes, you are, Sean. Yes,
there's
you
no
are.
damage on the vehicle.
Yes,
I'm a
you
good
are.
driver.
You're a good driver.
I don't like to lie to you.
But you make people nervous.
I know that. My mother's been telling me that for 20-something years.
I know, right? My mother wouldn't let me drive. I took her out for a drive in my car, right? I was like 18. And for 20 years, she wouldn't let me drive her car. My friends got to drive her brand new fucking brand new Honda Civic, right? It was the first brand new car ever. And my friends got to drive and I couldn't drive it.
We went to Miami once, and my uncle, the one that passed away a year and a half ago, he had his partner's car, and it was a Porsche. I don't remember what kind of Porsche. It was the one where the fin comes up by its, like at a certain speed, the fin pops up by itself.
928, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he had, his partner's Porsche.
That's the one from Scarface.
I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, so
Manny, bulletproof this.
He scared the hell out of me in that car.
he's like,
oh my god.
He's letting my cousins drive it and everything, and remember, my cousins are 20 years younger than me almost.
Mm-hmm.
And Lexi's like, well, I want to take a ride. I'm like, all right, can I take her for a ride? And he's like, no, you wrecked your father's Corvette. Take her for a ride.
Scared the hell out of me.
Although this is the same man. This is the same man that had probably wrecked 40 cars in his life, was driving a Jeep up the mountains of Pennsylvania and lost the doors off the Jeep and doesn't know how he lost them, and crashed an airplane in my grandparents' field.
See, that's the best one. And crashed an airplane. We can't, none of us could actually, there's not many of us alive that I actually could say that.
Yeah. It was
He took like a couple turns and he was just on this long stretch of road and just gunned it as fast as he could go. And I'm like, no. And he's just going. He's like, ee.
I miss him. Anyway, so I asked you about Noah for a reason, and we got sidetracked.
Oh, you're setting me up, aren't you, you fucking prick?
We have like seldom few minutes.
Seldom few minutes? Oh, my God. Is it really almost midnight?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Seldom few minutes.
Seldom few minutes. See, I'm not the only one speaking stupid.
I'm like a bottle and a half of wine in. Sorry.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I was drunk.
She's out there watching Christmas movies with the kid.
I was just drinking wine
Right.
and watching Christmas movies.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's Saturday. I'm allowed.
So, Dave, what do you think caused the droughts in California that are ending now, finally?
Lack of rain.
HARP pushing the storms out of California over to Fukushima to help dilute the radiation.
Well, I don't think that's why they were doing it, but well, Noah says that it was not man-made; it was natural.
What?
Noah says it was not man-made; it was natural.
The fact that there was a drought?
Yeah.
Well, to use your logic, aren't these things cyclical? Don't these things happen every so often?
Yes.
Isn't it a natural occurrence to have a drought?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
All right.
Is that
So
the point you're trying to make?
Kind of. Although I do think there was some geoengineering involved with it, but
Right.
I think that's why Noah's come out and said
Right.
it was natural, not man-made, so that they.
Why would you do this whole setup?
I don't know.
Right down.
No, actually, but
dick jokes. I want to hear dick jokes.
I like to fuck with Dave. Anyway, it is almost midnight, isn't it?
Yes.
Nigga.
Dave. Nigga. Did you call? You didn't call Wayne today, did you? I didn't call Wayne today.
What the fuck?
Sorry, that just made me think of Wayne.
Holy shit!
That's racist, Sean.
It's definitely racist.
Racist.
Well, it wasn't intended to be.
You're super racist.
Neither is
You're
Wayne.
like a high functioning racist.
Wayne is the whitest black man I've ever met in my
Are
life.
you kidding me?
so-
That guy picked me up and spun me around like I was a rag doll.
I didn't say he was the smallest black man I ever met. I said he was the whitest black man I ever met.
I don't give a fuck. I don't want to mess with him at all.
And you're a big guy too, for him
Yeah.
to swing you around.
Right.
Yeah, Wayne's what, like
It was-
6'7", 350 pounds?
I swear to God, Sean, it made me feel like a 7-year-old because I felt comfortable in his arms and he swung me around. I was like, oh, wow. I haven't felt this way in like 40 years. It was great.
Can I just say that it felt very good to be cradled by Wayne in a fetal position.
See?
As if I was a baby.
See? I didn't even remember him saying
he,
that.
like, hugged me and it kind of like lifted me off the floor and I was like, oh, I feel like a princess.
Princess. Did you feel like a Nubian princess?
Oh, wow.
I hope we meet again. I hope I get to meet him again just for the hug.
Just for the hug. Dave,
Just
I'm
for the
starting to
hug.
worry
If
about
nothing
you.
else, it's just for the hug.
He gives good hugs.
I'm starting to worry about you, Dave, I must say.
No homo. Because that's like bless your heart and it just erases everything you just said.
Well, I want to thank Susan
Drink.
You're gonna get the first name right and screw up the last name. Is that it? Is it easier for you to just say Susanna, even though that's not her name?
I could have sworn.
Did you call her
thought
that
she yelled at me
several times?
Oh, half the night, all the
Oh
night.
my God.
I always get it wrong. I don't know why, because it's spelt weird. It's not.
I've
spelled
told you after every show, it's Susan, right?
It's not spelled Susan though. It's
Yes,
spelled,
it is spelled Susan.
Well, it's weird. I don't know. That's just
It's
me, I
not
guess.
spelled Oh Susanna.
So I want to thank Susan for joining us tonight. As usual, full of information. She's a fun person to have on. She can roll with the punches, and that's what I like about her. It's one of the reasons I really enjoy having her on. So I want to thank her.
Stay late, being called Susanna. Maybe that's why.
Maybe
it's like some sort of reverse pickup thing.
Reverse pickup thing.
Cynthia didn't call, right?
No.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think she was going to. Probably not a good time. It would definitely be too soon to report about.
She never promised she was going to. She just said, if she gets a chance.
I saw that earlier today, and then we found out, what happened in Brooklyn.
Right. Plus it's Festivus. I mean, come on.
Right.
Yeah,
we should call her. I think I got her number somewhere.
Oh, I know I got her number somewhere, but I'm not going to call her. Call her at 12 o'clock at night.
Come on, it'd be fun.
We should have called Ferris though. That would be a fun one.
Oh God!
Do it right now.
No,
do it now.
No. He'll start. He's probably drunk as a skunk with all his buddies, having a grand old time, and putting him on the phone would.
You call him.
You call him now.
You call him now.
You call him now.
He's not even going to hear the fucking phone.
Well, we'll find out.
Oh my! I can't believe you're calling him. It's fucking 12 o'clock.
Yes.
You fought from grace, Dave.
Like 12 o'clock means anything to Ferris.
This is true.
He's awake. It's not like we're waking him up.
Although he might not answer because he won't recognize the number.
He'll be like, "Fuck you."
Right. He'll totally recognize. Oh, that's right. Because Skype.
No, it's a Skype, so it's a California number.
Right.
Skizite. We'll leave him a message.
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice
let's leave him a
message
Christmas
system.
message.
7.
We'll leave him a Christmas message.
7.
Ah, man.
Not available.
Knows my.
Yeah. Oh, Ferris. Merry Christmas. We were calling to bother you, but
Merry
you didn't
Christmas,
answer.
poopy face.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's the end of our show, and I don't know why he called you, but he did.
It's a
Stop
drunken
making
hour.
excuses, Dave.
Call us back in like a minute.
Call him. Don't lie.
941 421
0401.
0401.
He knows the number. He is a show host on the station,
Hashtag closet moist.
That dropped just then.
Oh, yeah. The closet moist didn't go on. Sorry.
Damn it.
I hung up too quick.
And you didn't say no.
I'm on the delay.
The living delay. Well, guys, it has been fun again. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate your time. I'll get your name right eventually.
Mrs. Pozell.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Mrs. Pozell.
I'm not updating right now, Skype. Go away. So anyway, next week we'll be back. We'll figure out hopefully more of what's going to be going on. I would like to have live here, but if I'm not going to be here and I don't have somebody to do live, I'll be doing probably the Pale Horse X podcast, which is Frankie's new podcast, and maybe throwing some Tuscan podcast. I got to see how long Frank's is. I want to make sure I fill the 3 hours or maybe more. Who knows? But anywho, it's been fun. I appreciate you guys listening, and I hope you come back next week and join us
for the last
Saturday
TF52.
night. No, the last Saturday night TF52.
The last Saturday TF52.
And it's my last show, regularly scheduled.
Last show ever.
Yeah, I'm off of DC. I'm done with.
Oh my God,
months
what are you
ago.
gonna do? You're not gonna not be
Oh my
friends
God,
with
I'm
us
having such-
anymore now, right?
I'm having such a good time. Not worrying about shit. I really plan on riding my bicycle out. You see, I was wearing colors today.
Are you gonna visit us though?
I see
Oh
that.
sure.
You better
Are you
visit
sure
us.
about that?
Oh, absolutely. And that'll be one of the nights we're like, let's go on air.
Probably.
Yeah. Just do a drunken good time show.
Just the 11 o'clock hour will do.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, Fireball and rum chata. It's a real thing. Try it out.
Oh.
Fireball and rub chata. What?
I don't know what he's talking about. No, it's a drink. It's a drink.
To have rum chata yet.
We're off the air, by the way, just so you know.
Oh,
I cut it out there.
I got to stop broadcasting too. Bye. It's probably
I got shit to do.
it's probably 66 is the only one watching.
The rich shit dicks.